The ESPN Dayton hashtag We Want to Get Paid Cash Contest. Be listening every hour for the word that wins and enter it at wingam.com. WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It is the Justin Kinner Show, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, and we are off and rolling on a Tuesday. Hope everyone has had a great day. Now, I need everyone to understand, yesterday when I said that the phones were out, the phones really were out. I didn't just, make it up because I didn't want to get just literally destroyed by Bengals fans all day after talking so much smack about how the Browns were going to be 6-2 heading into the bye week and that the Bengals were going to head into their bye week getting, their butts whooped by the Tennessee Titans. And everything that I said was going to happen, the opposite happened. And of course, coincidentally enough, I thought for sure that I was going to just get lit up by the Bengals fans. Well, coincidentally enough, the phone lines did, get cut out.
What a birthday gift.
I did not make it up.
What a birthday gift from the sports gods.
You know me. Bring it. You know me.
The sports gods cut the phone line for you.
Some people still don't believe me.
Take the pain.
Now, there is a power line that's out in front of us, or a pole right in front of the building. Someone literally drove through this pole. There is half a power line pole out there, and it knocked out our phone system as well. I have pictures to prove it, and I promise you on the other side of this commercial break, I promise you, we will have that for you. But are you tired?
No, I'm good.
You haven't been exercising?
Yeah.
Did you exercise today?
This morning.
We all exercised. We should all be exercising our right to vote, of course.
Absolutely.
And what we love doing on these sports shows, of course, is doing nothing. We don't want to stick to sports. I want to tell you who to vote for. I'm going to tell you who to vote for today.
Oh.
Because we're encouraging all of our listeners to go out and vote.
Absolutely.
But I don't care about politics right now.
Huh?
You definitely go vote for politics. But we're sticking to sports today, folks. In fact, today we're going to be having a little fun.
All right,
you got to pod that
fans,
up.
It's time to get out and vote. Don't worry, we're sticking to sports. Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
All right, so here's the deal. All day today, we're going to be encouraging all of our listeners to go out and vote. To go out and vote and exercise that right to vote or not to vote, but you're going to be voting with us here. We're going to be bringing you, of course, plenty of Election Day sports polls that you are going to go out and vote. Now, the phone lines are still down. That's the unfortunate part. The fortunate part that we have for you is that we have a text number, 210-9676. All right, you are going to text the station at 937-210-9676. Quite a few times throughout the show, we are going to be bringing you different polls that we need you to vote for. We need you to vote on. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, jump on board. Here's the deal. We're going to jump right off this with the very first one. If you're watching live on Facebook, we're heading to the polls. It's time to vote. Kev, let's get this started.
Let's do it.
It's time to vote. Everyone ready? Are you registered to
ready.
vote? I'm registered. I don't have any cool stickers, though.
Oh.
I don't have any.
How's everybody going to know if you voted or not?
No, but no kidding. If it, that's the deal. The mustache will complement the Diamonds intro music is what we already got. There we go. I love this mustache, man. I saved it just for today. So we are voting. We are heading to the polls. It's the Election Day edition of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. And we're going to talk politics. I'm going to tell you why you need to vote for this guy. And you're going to tell me why I'm stupid and need to vote for this guy. And we're just going to totally disrespect each other the whole time because we only care about who we want to vote for. But we're not talking politics. We're talking Baker Mayfield and we're talking Joe Burrow, baby. We're heading to the polls. Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow, our very first poll of the afternoon. Which quarterback is going to win a playoff game first? All right, listeners, I need you to do me a favor. Get out your cell phones. 937-210-9676. Text us your vote. Who are you voting for? Which quarterback is going to win a playoff game first? Joe Burrow has been very impressive in his rookie campaign. Baker Mayfield has been a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but he's on a team that's positioned to make the playoffs before the Bengals. Will he get a playoff win before Joe Burrow? Text in your vote. 937-210-9676. Which quarterback will get a playoff win first? Kev, let's hear your vote.
Baker Mayfield. It's as simple as this. You always go with the person that has the most opportunities. Baker Mayfield has the opportunity to make the playoffs. The Bengals aren't going to make the playoffs this year. No matter how good Joe Burrow plays, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're what? 2-4-1?
2-5-1.
2-5-1. My bad. They're 2-5-1. Chances are they're not going to make the playoffs. The Browns are in a perfect position to get a wild card spot. Matter of fact, I just saw an article about them expanding the playoffs even more this year to 8 teams per conference and having no buys. So if they do that, the Browns definitely are going to be in. So he has an opportunity to get a playoff win this upcoming season while Joe Burrow will be watching the playoffs from home, just like you and I. So I would say Baker Mayfield simply because he has an opportunity. He's going to have the opportunity, unlike Joe B.
All right, if you are just tuning in, it is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. It is the Election Day edition of the show. We're having fun today. We're encouraging you to vote. Go out and vote. Vote, vote, vote. I don't care about politics right now, though. I'm telling you to go to the polls and vote right now. Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow, which quarterback is going to win a playoff game first? How do you vote? Well, don't mail it in, okay? We don't have time for that. We only have 3 hours. We don't have time for you to mail it in. Postmark. Get out your cell phones. Text the station, 937-210-9676. We are running the poll right now. We will have the final results coming up for you in 10 minutes. We are all practicing this whole, this voting thing. All you got to do is text it. You don't have to mail it in. You don't have to go stand in line and wait. You just got to tell us, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, who will win a playoff game first? Kev, you say Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
I'm going to say, man, this is tough. As much as a Browns homer as I am, and as much of a Bengals basher as I am too, Joe Burrow's style makes the Bengals, if they ever get to the playoffs, more dangerous in the playoffs than the Browns. I think that the Browns getting to the playoffs, although the Titans last year did get to the AFC Championship game, I still don't think that anyone out there is planning on building around just being a run-only team. Baker Mayfield, although I've seen glimpses of him returning back to his form from his rookie year, I'm not confident that that style of play is going to be good enough to beat the Patrick Mahomes of the world, to beat the Russell Wilsons of the world and the Lamar Jacksons of the world. So as much as I love the Browns and I love Nick Chubb and their run game, to me, if right now, if you take a look at the Bengals and the way that they're playing offensively, I would have to say Joe Burrow has a better chance at getting a win first in the playoffs. If the poll question was, will Baker Mayfield get there before Joe Burrow, I would pick Baker in a heartbeat. But who's going to get a win first? I'm predicting the Browns to make the playoffs, but I'm also predicting them to get shellacked on whoever they play in the first round because we've seen how they look against those first round caliber looking opponents and the Steelers and Ravens. I believe when the Bengals get there for the first time with Joe Burrow, they will win a playoff game with Joe Burrow because the style of the offense. That's why, Zach Taylor, as much as I think it was a dumb hire, the front office said, look, I don't care who he is. It's what he brings to the table, the offense. If we could put the offense with his scheme, we're doing what all the other teams around the NFL are doing that are having success. So to me, I can't believe I'm saying this, and Browns fans, I'm sorry. Either. I have to say that the style of the Bengals offense is why I would say that Joe Burrow will get a playoff win before Baker Mayfield. However, I do believe Baker Mayfield obviously gets there first.
I am shocked that you said that.
Oh, you know.
I'm a person that believes in consistency. That's the same reason I always pick Tiger Woods, to break these big time records before everybody else because he has more at bats. Baker Mayfield is going to have more at bats this season alone than Joe Burrow. So that's why I'm going with Baker Mayfield to get a victory for Joey B. At least Baker Mayfield's going to have an opportunity.
All right, it's the Election Day edition of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. It's time to vote. Head to the polls, vote. Now, the polls, it's your cell phone. Get out your cell phone. Text the show. The phone lines are still down, okay? The phone lines are down from yesterday. Some drunk fool drove into a pole right outside. I don't even know. I can't remember who called into the show.
I can't remember. All I remember
is... I blamed him. I'm like, oh, your phone cut out, sir. Call back.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, but I heard a click.
Yep.
And then he was gone. Then I looked at the phones, and they were totally blank. And I'm like, that's not good.
Nope. Just like I played it. I paid the guy and everything. I said, I need you to hit this pole, knock out our phone lines, because I don't want to deal with these crazy Bengals fans all day.
4:15 p.m.
Yep. So we're doing the Election Day edition of the Justin Kinner Show. We're going to the polls. We're voting Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow. Text your vote to 937-210-9676. We have a ton of responses on the fan hotline, 210-9676. Let's go to the Facebook reaction as well. Philip Reed
Do these count as votes? Are these official votes on Facebook?
Your vote only counts.
Okay,
Consider the Facebook reactions mail-in.
Okay.
They don't count.
We'll consider them.
We'll add them later. Yeah. So your vote only counts, okay, by texting into the show, 210-9676. I'm going to annoy the hell out of you with repeating that number a million times today. 210-9676. It's the only way your vote counts. However, you can still participate if you're watching us live on Facebook. Which quarterback will win a playoff game first, Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow? To the Facebook reaction feed we go. This will give us a good idea of kind of what we think the numbers are going to show. Baker Mayfield, this is from Philip Reed. He believes it's Baker Mayfield just because he has a better team around him. Joe Burrow will be the better quarterback, or will prove to be. Matt Sturgeon says, Kev, Justin said win a playoff game, not get in. I will take Burrow. Ron Moreland, Joe Burrows, you know,
that's on there.
More than one. Will win a playoff game first. So Ron thinks Joe Burrow will win one first. We agree, Ron. We don't agree on much. Philip Reed also says, can we say neither until they, leave their current teams? Look, I mean, Baker right now is on the verge of making the playoffs, 5-3 at the bye week. The trade deadline's coming up at 4. I don't know what changes they're going to make. I don't think they're a trade or two away of, going anywhere right now. But I think he gets to the playoffs this year, but they're not going to win. I think next year, if Joe Burrow and the Bengals make that leap, the style of that offense, I would put money on that offense in the playoffs over this offense of the Browns, even though that run game's strong. That run, it's not going to cut it against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, even with the strong run game. You have to complement it with the pass game. That's why Lamar's so lethal. That's why Patrick Mahomes is so lethal. And to be fair, that's why Joe Burrow is on his way to being lethal too, because of what he could do with his arm, as much as it pains me to say. It's the most realist I've been in a long time as far as that's concerned.
So Bengals fans, y'all better enjoy this while you can.
Yeah, it's all the election day spirit, baby. It's the election day spirit. All right, so right now, me and Kev, we're going to go tally the votes. We're going to go tally the votes. We are going to have your results coming up for you on the other side of this break. It's the election day edition of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. We want to hear your votes. Head to the polls. Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow, which quarterback will win a playoff game first? Your vote will only count if you get the vote in by texting 210-9676. 937-210-9676. We're going to go tally the vote right now. We might even skew it a little bit. Might pull a Florida. Okay. All right. We might just kind of, it's rigged. It might be rigged. I don't know, but we're going to go tally the count and we'll have your results coming up for you. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, the election day edition, next.
All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear and sunny with a high near 60. Tonight's also going to be clear with a low around 41. And tomorrow is going to be clear and sunny with a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Small Engine Service Pros in New Carlisle, your local authorized Hustler mower dealer. Stop in today and see the Hustler Fast Track, the Hustler X1, and the Hustler Super Z.
College football, it's the game you wake up early on Saturdays for, even though kickoff isn't until 7. The game where the Goodyear blimp becomes a Hall of Famer. The game that goes just beyond school, spirit, fandom, or love of the sport. It's the game where the comebacks happen. It's the game where anything can and will happen as long as you have the drive. Because college football is the game that moves you. We get it because it moves us too. Goodyear, more driven.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing, discount drive-bys, and mile-wise. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Smoothbrook, Illinois.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Check engine light on? That's what we're here for. Let's head out to your car. This is our free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It's what we use to help troubleshoot your check engine light. It analyzes your specific vehicle information to give you the code you need to know, and even tells you the likely issue. And if you're feeling like you need a bit of help with the fix, we know some of the best repair shops around. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
While serving in Iraq, an IED took both my legs, but it didn't take my spirit.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Greg Gatson, Army veteran.
DAV helps veterans and their families get the benefits they've earned.
Today, I'm an entrepreneur, photographer, and public speaker.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is just being the best that I can be.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for a table at a restaurant.
Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, oh, there you are.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com. Looking
Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to assist veterans during this COVID-19 pandemic. Even though we are not meeting face-to-face, we are here for you. We understand it is a difficult time with this virus threat and the strain of implementing social distancing. For those Montgomery County veterans who have lost their source of income due to their employers having to close or reduce their business hours due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be eligible for COVID-19 special financial relief assistance. Please contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday for more information or to have an application sent to you. You can also visit mcvsc.org. The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to help Montgomery County veterans during the COVID-19 crisis. Call 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday or visit them online at mcvsc.org.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Assurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
So you want to talk about outliers? Those guys are outliers. You're lucky that this thing's separating us. That's all I got to say. For facts, though. I got your facts right here.
Listen, stream, and now watch. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook to follow along. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station 1410 Wing AM. It's the Election Day edition of the Justin Kinner Show with Kevin Nash. And, of course, we're all exercising today. Now, you're probably looking at me saying, Kinner, you don't exercise. Let's just be clear here. Kinner does not exercise. So right now we are in the middle of exercising our right to vote. On this Election Day edition, we're going to be voting the entire show. And you have a chance to vote. For those of you out there who chose not to vote for whatever reason, that's fine. I respect that. But you have a chance to vote during the show today. We're going to have about 5 or 6 different Election Day Sports Edition polls that we're going to be running throughout the show. The very first poll that we ran today, and that we actually are extending the shelf life of. We're going to extend the shelf life of this poll right now. Here's the results of this so far. Here's the poll right now. Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow? If you had to vote, you have to vote for Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow. You have to submit your vote by texting it in at 210-9676. Which quarterback will win a playoff game first? So far, right now, we have over 120 votes. Here's the results so far. Joe Burrow is up 58% to 42%. So there you go.
That's right in line with what you think, though.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I do believe, as crazy as this sounds, I'm predicting that Joe Burrow will get a playoff win before Baker Mayfield, but I believe that Baker Mayfield will continuously get to the playoffs. I think that the Browns are set up, especially if the NFL keeps this, expanded playoff system in place. I definitely see, the Browns in that position. For how long, I don't know. I've given you my opinion on that before. I think the Browns' shelf life, or at least a chance to compete with this roster built as is only 2 to 3 more years. And I'm being generous with that third, because if it doesn't work out, they're going to have to move on from OBJ at some point. They might move on from Hooper at some point. These pieces they invested a lot of money in, hoping that it would lead to not just wins on the field, but potential runs in the playoffs. And I just don't think we're there yet. So submit your vote, 210-9676. We're going to go back to the Facebook feed. Matt Sturgeon says, Justin, you're going soft on me saying nice things about the Bengals. Management must have talked to you. Let's be clear here. You are so Matt, because Matt is the one that I told you about over the weekend. Yeah. He was delusional and thought that he thought that the Bengals were Dayton's local team. And they're not. Dayton, the beautiful part about doing a sports radio show in Dayton is that Dayton has a bunch of local teams. Yeah. We don't have an NFL team. The Triangles no longer exist. So when he said that all I do is mock the local team, I haven't made a Triangles joke in good Lord, who knows how long. So, Matt, I'm sure you're wrong a lot in life, but you are more wrong about this than anything else in the history of your life. The Bengals are not the local team. There's just as many Browns fans here. So when he says that I can't be biased, that I'm biased.
You think it's that many Browns fans equally as Bengals fans? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mainly just because the Browns, that organization's older. Right. There have been Browns fans here since before the Bengals even existed. So there's that part of it. Yes, Cleveland had to, they left town for a little bit and then came back, but that fan base is one of the most loyal fan bases out there. So yes, I do believe that.
Who's the third team? Because obviously
the number one team is the Buckeyes. Let's just be clear as far as that goes.
Facts. Excuse me. Who is the third NFL team in town? Who do you think people root for the most?
That's right. I can't figure that out. So, when we do the Sunday morning show, the Sunday morning tailgate show at Frickers, I like to keep an eye for. It's amazing to me the different fan bases that come out. There's a lot of Colts fans. My next guess would be the Colts, just because of proximity, but it's not. I don't know how strong the Colts fan base is. You know a lot of Colts fans?
I know one.
A few, but I
know one. He's from Columbus. He's a big Peyton Manning guy. Yeah.
Bears fans just seems to be, you can find Bears fans pretty much anywhere. But Steelers, I think that the Steelers are the third biggest fan base here in this city. I've told you before, there's a client of mine here, another restaurant over in Fairborn, that I think it was the Wandering Griffin, and they used to have the Bills backers go. Yeah. They had hundreds hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and I'm assuming it has a lot to do with the base here, obviously.
Yeah.
But hundreds and hundreds of Bills fans would go do watch party. I don't know if they still do the watch parties there or not, but yeah, they do. There's the Bills backers here. They do watch parties. Hundreds and hundreds of Bills fans gather. I didn't believe it at first. The guy that told me, the guy that runs the Bills backers, I'm not joking. You got to come out. So I came out one week because I just was curious.
Mm-hmm.
He's not joking. Hundreds and hundreds of Bills fans show up for the Bills backers group here in Dayton. It's unbelievable. I'm not saying that the Bills are the thing. I'm just saying there's pockets of fans everywhere. So for Matt to say that this is a Bengals only city, that is so far from the truth. I remember others have gotten mad at me over the years saying you got to, that's not a great way to be a local radio host by bashing the local team. I'm not bashing the local team. I'm bashing your team because the Browns fans that live in this city love it.
Right.
Bengals fans hate it. Steelers fans get a chuckle because we're all arguing over who's the second to worst team in the conference every single year. I mean, it's ridiculous. Bengals, Browns fans, all we do is argue over, oh yeah, well, we're going to be third this year. No, we're going to be third this year. It's the most embarrassing thing ever. When you really strip it all down, I should be embarrassed that I argue with Bengals fans over, my third place team is better than your fourth place team. Like, that's really all we're doing. I should be ashamed of myself, to be honest with you.
For me, it's either the Steelers or the Cowboys. And we're seeing all the Pittsburgh Steelers fans in town now because the Steelers are 7-0. But best believe if the Cowboys were having a good season, you would see all the Cowboys fans in town. There is a ton of Dallas Cowboys fans across the country.
Yeah.
I know everybody talks about how Pittsburgh, when they go on the road to play the Cardinals or wherever they go to play, there's always a big Steeler section. There's Steeler fans, Steeler bars all across the country, man. Look, when the Cowboys are winning, there's more Cowboys fans than anybody. Like, look, I don't know why that is or how that became. And like this whole America's team thing, I just don't know how it is, but the Cowboys fans are laying low because they're having a horrible year. But trust believe, if they were having a good year, they would be all over the place. Back when I used to host the fight clubs in town and everything that, oh my goodness, when Sunday Night Football was on, all the Cowboys fans were out there. It would be crazy. We would think we were in Dallas.
But and you're not wrong, but that's any fan base. That's anything. Like there's not.
Do you know any Atlanta Falcons fans
outside? But even when they're winning, it's not like this city is flocking with Atlanta Falcons fans. But what I mean, to your point, what I mean is like you're saying, the Cowboys fans only come out when they're good. That's an intelligent fan base. Then who comes out? Like that's why I laugh at the Bengals. they pump their chest at 2-5-1, and I'm like, what are you pumping your chest for? Like you're not winning. What are you doing? Like to me, that's weird. If your team's losing, just sit this one out. Just sit this one out. Take the L with your team and move on. And instead, you got a fan base that's making fun of a 5-3 team that's in position to make the playoffs. Like that's why I like to poke fun at the local Cincinnati Bengals team. Now, if this show was in Cincinnati, I would have to tell you how great 2-5-1 actually is. I would have to make a turd smell good. I would have to, put a little air freshener on that baby.
So since we're only talking local teams, that means we got to talk about Central State Marauder football and basketball. We got to talk about Wright State basketball a lot, Flyers basketball, Flyers football, Flyers volleyball. Let's talk all the local teams.
Yeah. So when he said that, that I'm biased towards the Browns, I'm not allowed to be biased. I'm like, you're a hypocrite because if I was pro Bengals and making fun of the Browns, then it's okay for me to be biased towards a team.
Right.
Hosts are only, and this goes for hosts, writers, like that's how we judge who's good and who's not at their jobs anymore. I mean, there's some bad radio hosts out there. Maybe I'm a bad radio host. I don't know. It's not for me to decide. But I'm noticing a lot of times to where even if I'm bad at this job, if I'm telling you good things about your team, people will like me. Even if I'm good at this job, if I'm talking bad about your team, you're going to hate me. That's just the nature of it. People think Stephen A is god awful at his job. I hear people all the time, I don't get how, so that's all you got to do to make money. That dude is one of the most talented sports analysts out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love him, but you don't like him because, he says bad things about your team. That doesn't make him bad at his job.
Right.
That's a you problem. That ain't a him problem because his bank account is saying, I don't care. Like, when he's making fun of the Cowboys and trolling them, you think by complimenting them, he'll make more money? By making fun of them that he's making less money? No. Like, and everyone tries to figure us out. Oh, he's only making fun of them just to get rate. If I have to make fun of the Bengals just to get ratings, then holy smokes, I need to find a new career. I'm just saying they make it easy as far as I'm concerned.
There's very few people that move the needle in sports talk. Stephen A is one of them. Skip is one of them.
People think Skip's god awful, but he's also one of the most talented guys out there because he knows what he's doing. And people who try to think that they know what he's doing, you may try to like psychoanalyze everything he's saying and doing, but you're falling into the trap too. So I don't know, like he's good at his job.
Right.
He's good at his job. So, and that's the deal too. Like, for instance, Paul Feinbaum is a prime example. People hate Paul Feinbaum because he's the mouthpiece of the SEC. I remember 2 years ago or 3 years ago when the Zach Smith situation was going on in Columbus with Ohio State. He was absolutely ripping Urban Meyer. He was ripping Ohio State. And this city in Buckeye country hated him more than usual. Okay. But then last year, when Ohio State, and like for the Buckeye Blogger websites, I always blasted them for this. The Buckeye Blogger websites, I'm not going to call anyone out in particular. There's only really one good one to me, that's Letterman Row. But outside of that, there's only one, that's the only one I like. But there's others that will sit there and rip Paul Feinbaum and say, oh man, he just hates Ohio State. He just hates the Buckeyes. He just wants to see that program disappear and blah, blah, blah. What does Paul Feinbaum benefit from bad things happening to Ohio State? He doesn't benefit at all. And he's just as critical of the SEC and others, but we only hear what we want to hear. So then last year, fast forward from the Zach Smith story to last year, although we're rewinding, going back to that.
Right.
Last year, he was all about, he did nothing but praise the Buckeyes. He did nothing but praise Zach, obviously in Ryan Day. He did nothing but praise Ohio State. And then Buckeye fans were like, man, he gets it. He gets it. He's not biased. He just gets it. People just want to be told good things about their team, even when they're not good. I don't get it. Like, for me, when the Browns are bad and people are saying that the Browns are bad, I'm not getting mad because I agree with you that the Browns are bad. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It cracks me up. Hold on real quick. I'm sorry, because Lamar Shirley got me on this one. Shelley got me on. Your team held a parade for 0-16. Bengals fans are not that bad. I have no argument there. We did. The Browns fans threw a parade. McNeil, you know McNeil?
No, I don't.
The guy that ran the set up the 0-16 parade, he does nothing but troll people on social media. He's one of the funniest guys out there. I'm sure you follow him.
I don't.
He's the one that got he's the one that got Tony Rizzo or whatever to say that he was going to fight him at a Buffalo Wild Wings. Or
whatever. My guy Rizzo, Tony.
Yes. Yeah. So he literally made that host so mad because he got the permit to set up the 0-16 parade in Cleveland if they went 0-16, and they did it. And they pulled it off. It was awesome.
Ugh.
It was awesome.
It's despicable, man. Despicable, man. I'm not even a Browns fan. I feel bad for Cleveland Browns fans that this guy was able to pull that off, man. And it got one of my favorite radio show hosts, Tony Rizzo, that riled up. It's just, you liked it, didn't you?
Yes. Of course I did. Because
why?
Because at first I thought it was dumb, but then when I realized that the idea of the parade was angering so many people, for whatever reason, I take joy in watching other people get irritated. Like, I don't like, people think like I'm just taking a side just to irritate people. No, I literally gravitate. Like, what I say is literally what I'm thinking. I don't like force it, but like, I don't know. I have a hard time. Me and you talk about this all the time. There are times where I'm watching Ohio State and I'm not impressed, and I'll say, oh man, this isn't good. And I'm like, I'm not going to go on the air and just tell people everything is, rainbows and butterflies. I know that's what they want to hear, but I feel like you got to be real. You got to be honest.
True.
And that's one, I can't sit there and just tell you every day that everything is great and fantastic and super duper and all this stuff. Like, I'm just not going to do that. I never have and I never will. So there's that as far as that's concerned. But yeah, so if you're just tuning in, all right, today is election day. We're heading to the polls. We are voting. In fact, we've had a little fun today, and we are only one poll question in. Here's our first one.
All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and vote.
Don't worry, we're sticking to sports.
Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
All right, so we're heading to the polls. We're voting today, all right? We are voting. No mail-in votes, all right? No early voting. You don't even have to leave your couch to vote. All you got to do is get out your cell phone, text the station, the ESPN Dayton fan hotline. The phone lines are out again. So we're using the text line today. We're having fun with everyone that way. Right now we have hundreds of votes right now trying to figure this out. And the last time we tallied the results, one more time, I'll put those results up on the screen for those of you watching live on Facebook. Joe Burrow, 58% to Baker Mayfield's 42%. The poll question was, Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow, which quarterback will win a playoff game first? I want to hear from our listeners. I want them to vote. Get out and vote. I don't have a pretty sticker for you. I don't have a sticker. I should have got it. Damn it. We got 4 years to get stickers made for the next election. Got it? Get on it. Get on it. We have a ton of Kinner and Schlemmer beer koozies still. We still have a ton of those. Maybe I can give those out for people voting. Either way, I'm trying to motivate you to vote. Pull out your cell phones. 937-210-9676. Text us your vote. Which quarterback, Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow, will win a playoff game first? This is the first hour's poll question. I'll tally up all the votes and we'll figure this out. Now, to be fair, I'm a Browns homer, and I picked Joe Burrow. I didn't pick Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield is set up to make the playoffs more. I think his organization has done a better job of surrounding him with the weapons he needs. To be fair, though, the Bengals have only had Burrow for 8 games now.
Right.
But I do believe that Joe Burrow's style, if the Bengals are in the playoffs with Joe Burrow, that means they put the weapons around him to win enough games to get there, which means I think that style of offense is going to be more concerning to me than the Browns. Yes, it's tough to stop Nick Chubb. It's tough to stop, the Titans and Derrick Henry. It's tough to stop a lot of these running games.
Right.
But I do believe there's a ceiling for a lot of teams that are those run-heavy teams that don't have a quarterback that's capable of taking you to that next level. Ryan Tannehill has improved this year, but he's still not Patrick Mahomes. As good as the running game is with the Titans, it's not good enough to beat the Chiefs, in my opinion. Lamar Jackson and the Titans, they can go punch for punch, and the run game is going to carry the Titans. But overall, if it comes down to quarterback versus quarterback, Tannehill's not coming out on top against Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and even what we saw with Big Ben a few weeks ago. Narrowly, losing, but couldn't get it done. Baker Mayfield, to me, if I have to rely on Baker to outthrow Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and others, it's not happening. But with the trajectory that we've seen of Joe Burrow so far, I think he has what it takes to potentially be that style of quarterback that can outduel a Patrick Mahomes. Not saying he's better, but his style fits that more. And I would be more confident in that getting you a playoff win versus the style of the Browns at this point, although the Browns are better suited to make the playoffs here in the near future.
That's fair enough. I was simply going with Baker because he's going to have more at-bats. Currently, Baker Mayfield is in line to have an at-bat to actually get a win. I don't care who they play. As long as you're in the game, literally playing in the game, you have an opportunity to win. And we know the Bengals aren't going to make the playoffs this year. No matter how great Joe Burrow plays. Joe Burrow can throw for 400, 500, 3 touchdowns. We all know they're not going to make the playoffs. But the Browns are in prime position to make the playoffs. And once you get in, as we've seen, once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. The Jaguars went to the AFC Championship, won 2 playoff games. Titans won 2 playoff games to get to the AFC Championship. Once you get into the playoffs, you don't know. Injuries may help you win a playoff game. That's part of the game. So that's my whole point about picking Baker Mayfield and the Browns to win a playoff game, because once you were in, you never know.
All right, good stuff. We are live on Facebook. Go to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show. It's the Election Day edition. Again, we're going to be getting to our next poll coming up here around the corner. It does involve Urban Meyer. We have an Election Day sports poll that features Luke Fickell and the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Hey.
In fact, we're going to talk about those Bearcats with Jason Fitz. Now, people think that I made up the lie about that they think that I made up that the phone lines are off. No, folks. A drunk driver ran into a pole yesterday outside of our studio. In fact, I could have been killed. Had he gone like 500 yards to the right, he could have ran right through this building, man. You would have been fine. I on the other hand,
doing my angles and my geometry, I've been safe.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. As far as that's concerned. So we had to interview Jason Fitz earlier today, but we talked about your Browns, your Bengals, and we told him to pick his top 4. If the college football playoffs started today, who would be his 4 teams? Bearcats fans are going to really like him coming up around the corner as well. So we'll get to that here around the corner. All right, we're closing this part of this segment of the show out. We're going to take a few-minute break. Again, we're continuing to tally your votes. Get out and vote. Vote. Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow, which quarterback will win a playoff game first? Text in your vote to 937-210-9676. Text in your vote right now. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Dayton's favorite, Casano's Pizza King, is open for delivery or carryout at any of our 33 locations. Call 294-KING and see for yourself where the proof is in the taste. That's 294-KING for delivery or carryout at a location near you.
Pizza King.
You're ready to get back into yoga, so you ordered the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. and you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath. Breathe.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for the previews to start in a movie theater.
Hey, you want anything? Popcorn? Soda? No, nothing.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Available at Pep Boys.
College football, it's the game you wake up early on Saturdays for, even though kickoff isn't until 7. The game where the Goodyear blimp becomes a Hall of Famer. The game that goes just beyond school, spirit, fandom, or love of the sport. It's the game where the comebacks happen. It's the game where anything can and will happen, as long as you have the drive. Because college football is the game that moves you. We get it because it moves us too. Goodyear, more driven.
You have empty office space to fill. You know what you need, and you know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places that what you need and what you'd like, that might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half price and below manufacturer suggested prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really. Desks from $50 to $5,000. File cabinets, $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Outlet. With 87,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. 2 locations. One at 23 McOil Street, Dayton. The other, Uniques Unlimited on South Dixie. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. Saturday, 10 to 4.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations, serving the greater Dayton and Cincinnati area, is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the best value in bath and shower remodeling, and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that is safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase. Visit on Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com and upgrade today.
Hi, Joey Beckett here at Buckeye Ford in Sydney, home of the Works Package and the Double Take Tire Specials. Call today for your appointment, 937-419-8473 or 1-800-700-0050. Buckeye Ford in Sydney, exit 92 off of I-75. We'll see you soon.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Connect with your favorite radio shows through contests, social media, and podcasts. Create custom alarms with your favorite radio stations, all free with the radio.com app.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Save today on Procter & Gamble cleaning products. They make life simple with products that you can trust from Tide, Downy, Dawn, and Swiffer. Stock up on Procter & Gamble cleaning supplies and get 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through Saturday, November 7th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and vote. Don't worry, we're sticking to sports. Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
All right, we welcome you back. Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Again, head to the polls. Get out and vote. Right now, we are all accepting, taking your votes, tallying your votes, counting your votes. Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow, which quarterback will win a playoff game first? To text your vote to 937-210-9676. We have over about 200 plus votes already. Again, we're going to run that vote or that poll right up until the top of the hour, coming up at 4 o'clock. And then, of course, we will release a new poll for you to head to the polls and vote for. Here are the results so far. Joe Burrow has separated himself big time from Baker Mayfield. Joe Burrow, 71%. Baker Mayfield, 29% of the vote right now is where we are sitting at currently. Joe Burrow running away with that one. Running away with that one as far as that's concerned. So again, look, I like what I saw to Baker Mayfield against the Bengals. Then he counters it with what he did against the Raiders. If who he was against the Bengals is who he is, Kev, then you know what? I can roll with Baker in that situation. But as far as this is concerned, even if the Browns get to the playoffs, I'm not confident in that style of play as far as that goes. So get out your cell phones one more time. Text your vote to 210-9676. The voting for this poll will stop in 14 minutes coming up at the top of the hour. In all seriousness, hope everyone has been able to get out and vote. For those who didn't take advantage of the early voting period, hopefully, the lines weren't too bad today. I'm seeing a lot of mixed reactions on social media. Like some are saying, oh man, they've waited for hours in line. Others are saying they've walked right up and were able to knock it out. So, it is what it is. So,
did you early vote?
I voted Monday. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
how was it?
Quick, went right in. It was within 15 minutes. Right after Byers' show, went and knocked it out. So
nice.
There you go. I've put my name down. Yep. I could be president by the time. Back to sports. No, I'm serious. Like, what if all of a sudden I just wake up and I'm president? I wrote my name. I don't think it works that way, but we'll see.
You and Kinner
making it, yeah. I saw right now, you could bet on anything right now. You could literally go and bet. You could place a bet in Vegas right now for how many votes you think Kanye is going to get.
What's over?
Did you see what he did for his wife?
Yeah.
He had that weird little thing made of her dad.
Hologram.
And then he referred to himself as a genius. He had the hologram of her dead dad refer to him as a genius. Good for him, man.
No.
I got called an arrogant SOB yesterday.
Mentally
on my birthday, by the way.
Happy belated.
I couldn't even do that. I mean, my goodness. Good for him. That's going to make one hell of an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. All right. Some Big Ten news, Kev. How about this? Wisconsin, Purdue. the game is off due to the ongoing, outbreak within the Wisconsin Badgers, program right now. And of course, that leaves Purdue in a weird spot because Purdue finds themselves in the same situation that Nebraska did last week. Nebraska had a game lined up. They were able to find a replacement game to replace Wisconsin. Kevin Warren in the Big Ten said, I don't get it. Why would he reject that? What is wrong with these teams going out to replace games on the schedule? I don't understand that. As far as I'm concerned, Wisconsin, cool. It's unfortunate, but that's great. But why should these other teams be forced to miss games if their programs are set and if they can go up against another opponent that could match what the Big Ten is doing as far as their testing protocol is concerned? I don't see the big deal. Nebraska found that situation last week and the Big Ten rejected it. I would assume Purdue has no shot at playing this weekend.
Yeah, it's not happening. I think it was already predetermined that they were playing a Big Ten only schedule, and that's that. And Nebraska tried to get one. They shot it down. So Purdue doesn't even need to try. And this is like we talked about yesterday with Wisconsin. This is another game that's being canceled. So they have one more they can cancel. I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to play enough games to even be eligible for the Big Ten championship.
They miss one more.
Yeah.
You miss one more game. They will not be eligible for the Big Ten championship game as far as that is concerned. So there you go. But we'll keep an eye on that situation, and we just hope. And this is the scary part about this is that Ohio State, they can go an entire season without any player or coach testing positive for the virus. Knock on wood.
Right.
But it's not even just about their program. It's about anyone that is on their schedule. A team that Ohio State may not play for weeks out. This could be them, but it could still catch up to Ohio State after a couple weeks and move a game from them. Right now we have yet to see a big game be just completely nixed because of it. We watched Florida and LSU, although that was a big game. Florida had already lost. LSU had lost. LSU's not as good. So it's a big game on paper.
Right.
But ultimately that, this week's game between Notre Dame and Clemson has been impacted a little bit. I'm interested in that game because, what happens if Notre Dame beats Clemson? I'm curious what the committee is going to do to Clemson. How far back do you bump them? How far back do you bump them? How far up do you move Notre Dame? Notre Dame's in the top 4 right now. Do they all of a sudden skyrocket to number 1? You beat the number 1 team in the country. Do they just flip-flop? What do you do in that situation? I'm very intrigued by what's going to happen. Also, let's say that Clemson beats Notre Dame. Is that all of a sudden this great story about how Clemson is 2-0 without their fierce leader in Trevor Lawrence? Or is it, that just shows Notre Dame is obviously not that good? How do you view this? I mean, that's going to be the key thing moving forward.
When does the first poll of the CFP come out?
End of November.
Okay.
End of November. So we still have a couple weeks as far as that's concerned. And then there's only like 4 polls or 3 polls this year. I mean, there's usually 6, I believe. And this year, I think there's only 4 or 3. So it's going to be, left hook, right hook, boom, final poll. And then you're off and rolling as far as that goes.
Not a lot of wiggle room.
David Shaw says Purdue plays Nebraska on December 5th. And that was because Lamar said, can Purdue play Nebraska? So he was answering that as far as that's concerned. We got a little Bengals-Browns shade being thrown around in the chat room here. Let's go see what everyone's up to. Nick Baloney says the last time that the Bengals have won a playoff game, the Billboard Top 100 featured Vanilla Ice, Debbie Gibson, Wilson Phillips, and MC Hammer.
Woo! Ice, baby.
So there's that. Maloney about the Browns also says that the Texans, Eagles, Jags, Giants, and Jets are all remaining games on the schedule for the Browns after the bye week, not to mention that Chubb and Teller are coming back. He says, talking about the Browns, he's a Browns fan. He says, we will walk into the playoffs, horrible defense and all. So there you go.
Don't make apologies for winning games. It's the NFL, dog.
5-3. Do what you got to do, because as you saw against the Raiders, that's a game they should have won. They didn't. How many more of those games are left on the schedule where the Browns can't get a win when they are supposed to? Yesterday, because I can't help myself but to troll all the time, I really do wonder who did we learn more about yesterday? I'm going to kill this music real quick. We're just going to knock that out. What did we learn on Sunday about the Bengals? Did we learn more about who they are, or did we learn more about who the Titans are not? Because I really am curious as far as okay, what did we just see? Did we just see a coming out party for the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow? Did Zach Taylor finally figure out the right rotation, the right offensive lineman configuration? What did we figure out here? Because that win could ultimately be nothing if you come out of the bye week and get shellacked coming out. And then it's like you're right back to where you were 3 weeks ago as opposed to feeling good. And we've seen how quickly things turn around.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Who do we learn more about? Do we learn more about who the Bengals are, or do we learn more about who the Titans are not?
I think we learned more about the Bengals. I think it said a lot about the resiliency of all the things that were going on behind the scenes throughout the entire week with the John Ross situation, with the Carlos Dunlap situation. A lot of talk, a lot of chatter around the organization in a negative light. And the players were able to go out there and focus and get a victory on the field. The coaching staff was able to put their players in the best position to win, and they made plays, not only on offense, because the offense has been making plays all season, but the defense made plays, forcing turnovers, getting the interceptions in the end zone, preventing touchdown drives. I take my hat off to the Bengals in that situation, because you got to think that the Titans want to get that loss out there, that bad taste of the loss to the Steelers out their mouth, and licking their chops at the Cincinnati defense, and they weren't able to do whatever they wanted, like a lot of people thought they were going to do. We figured like, oh man, Henry's going to get 160 on them. They're going to go over the top with the deep shots with AJ Brown, and it's going to be, the Bengals are going to score their points, but Tennessee's ultimately going to win. But they didn't, because the Bengals came to play.
Yeah, see, I think I don't know if we really learned anything about the Bengals not taking a shot at them. What I mean is it's one game, and I don't think we learned anything about the Bengals other than, you're right, they handled the adversity of the week in regards to still remaining focused enough to go out and play a good football game. That's what I learned about the Bengals. I don't think I learned that they're a good football team. I don't think I learned that they are in position to win more games moving forward. I think that we learned about there is maybe a little bit more mental toughness in that locker room than we thought, and maybe there is a little bit more cohesiveness in that locker room than we thought, because it's easy to look at the drama going on with Carlos Dunlap and Geno Atkins and, of course, John Ross and everything, and even rewind to a year ago, with the AJ Green and Dalton things, how those things were handled as far as that goes. So, and again, there I go with as far as that goes, as far as I'm concerned. I'm working on it, people. Just relax. But what we are seeing is that, okay, the guys that are leaving and the guys that are still there, the one thing that is going well for Zach Taylor is that his guys are still buying into what he's dishing out. And because the only problem I would have is if they were, if his message was falling on deaf ears, if they weren't responding to him. They've only had one game where they just looked truly just horrible, and that was against the Ravens. Right. The Browns really embarrassed them back in week 2 in regards to them just not, they're one of the worst run defenses in the league, but that day, they made the Browns look like they were the best running team of all time. But we've seen that even kind of button up over. I just think that we learn more about who the Titans aren't more than about who the Bengals are. I need to see the Bengals again. I need to see them. They have unfortunately for them coming out of the bye week, they have the Steelers. So I don't know if I don't see a situation where they're going to be able to build off that Titans game. But after the Steelers game, then you have Washington, then you have the Giants, then you have the Dolphins, then you have the Steelers again, or the Cowboys, and then you got the Texans and then the Steelers and Ravens, 2 of the final 3 games to close out the season. So there is a chunk coming up out of the bye week after the Steelers that they can maybe build on that. The Titans, though, yesterday I told you, they beat a lot of bad teams by 1 possession. They're in a lot of close games with a lot of bad teams. They win by 1 possession, and I think it caught up with them. They are not very good defensively. They're pretty solid. They're very solid offensively, obviously led behind Derrick Henry in the run. I think they're a better version of the Browns offense in regards to having a steady run game and a quarterback that's more consistent than Baker Mayfield. And that's what Ryan Tannehill has been able to provide them, stability at the quarterback and not always wondering what you're going to get from week to week. But Tannehill's still not that next level guy. He's doing just enough to allow them to win games and be in games, but that defense is wide that they're narrowly escaping teams in those 1 possession. So I'm a little concerned about the Titans because we're sitting here saying, oh, that division's theirs. But there's the Colts right there. They're 5-2, and you just lost to a bad Bengals team. You've barely escaped the Jaguars. You've barely escaped the Broncos. You've barely escaped a lot of bad teams throughout this stretch, and you weren't able to outduel the Cincinnati Bengals. I think you're starting to see them slowly maybe deteriorate a little bit as the season goes on, especially on the defensive side. The trade deadline is now. I haven't updated the screen in a while. I'm curious if any moves have been made from a significant standpoint. It's very quiet. The deadline for the NFL is kind of boring, though.
Most of the time it's boring. I think the biggest trade of the last couple of years, at least that I can remember, was maybe it was even last year when Pittsburgh traded for Minka Fitzpatrick. That's like the biggest one I can even think of.
But the reason that's huge. That was huge for 2020,
right?
I can't remember the last time a trade was made at the deadline that took it. Like we see that in the NBA all the time.
Yeah,
the NBA they fill their roster out for the first half. They make a big trade. They make a big move at the deadline. And usually a lot of times, whoever wins the trade deadline, more times than not, usually sets themselves up for a big playoff push or, a deep playoff run, an NBA Finals appearance. In the NFL, it amazes me because in the NFL, you literally are potentially one player away. The Browns, I think, are more than one player away.
Right.
But, Stephen Gilmore is available. He's more available now than what he will be in the offseason. I think that the Patriots look at, every time a team gets to the offseason, they re-fall in love with their team again. You fall out of love with your team, a bad team during the season, because all you see is the flaws. But then when you get to the offseason, it's that uplift. Everyone's uplifted with the hope and the excitement and everything going on, Kev. So to me, the Patriots are moving on from him. I'm surprised teams weren't willing to try and go give up whatever they could to fine-tune their defense, especially in the secondary moving forward. Bill Belichick and the Patriots wanted, of course, a first-rounder and a current player.
Woo! He good, but he ain't that good. Not a first-rounder.
It's hard to find cornerbacks.
Man, I ain't giving him no first-round pick.
What'd they give up to get Fitzpatrick?
They gave up a first-round pick, but he was 22 years old.
Don't care. There's teams out there who are in the win now mode.
He's 22 years old. Well, he was 22 years old. Gilmore's like 32. He's not going to be playing in the NFL for more than another 2-3 years.
But there's a lot of teams like the Browns and others who are in that 2 to 3 year window where, there you go. Got to look at that.
But he's a corner. The corners for the Browns aren't bad. It's the linebacker.
They have a good corner. They don't have, outside of Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett, they have nothing. There's nothing there.
The safeties and linebackers are bad. I don't think you give up a first-round pick for Gilmore. Especially
I'm not even saying. I'm saying there's teams like Cleveland who are in a short window in a win now mode. Browns wouldn't make sense, not because he couldn't make them better right away, because he wouldn't make them better than the Steelers or better than the Ravens. Although the Ravens, they're interesting. They're not good. The Browns aren't closing in on them, but the Ravens aren't as good as they were a year ago.
No,
they are not as good as they were a year ago. All right, folks, head to the polls. We're wrapping it up. When we come back, the final tally will be made. We will find out which quarterback. Again, we're exercising our right to vote today. We are, head to the polls. Let your vote be heard. Let your voice be heard. Text your vote to 937-210-9676. Trump or Biden, who you got? Oh, no, that's not what we're doing. No, I need you to text me your vote in regards to which quarterback will win a playoff game first. We are wrapping up this poll. I'll introduce the new poll on the other side as well as give you the final results. Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, which quarterback will win a playoff game first? I'm not going to lie, Bengals fans. I just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the last 13 texts that have come in the last 3 minutes. All Baker Mayfield. So I'm just saying, I think Burrow's going to pull this one out. The last time we tallied this, where were we at? It was 71-29 advantage Joe Burrow. All right. So but a lot of votes have come in late for Baker Mayfield. So there you go. I'm just saying, Bengals fans, don't let it slip away. We still have to add in the electoral votes too, so don't forget about that. I mean, there's still a lot to pull into play there. All right,
make sure all votes are counted.
Yes, no, I don't know about that. I don't know. I've been throwing some of these Burrow ones away.
Supreme Court.
Yep. They come in. Oh, I didn't get that Joe Burrow vote. I didn't see that. All right, folks. Hour 2 next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Wouldn't it be great if everything came with more? Like if your new computer came with unlimited tech support. When you choose a Medicare plan from United Healthcare, you get more. Like plans that have dental and vision coverage, plus hearing coverage. Call United Healthcare at 1-800-364-1360 to get Medicare with more. Remember, Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th.
Benefits and availability may vary by plan and location. More plans based on year-over-year comparison with United Healthcare plans.
Hi, I'm Brooke Burke. Do you ever consider just how important your feet are? They're quite literally the foundation of your body. And if you don't take care of them, you're asking for problems. That's why I wear Skechers' new Arch Fit shoes. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to make a shoe that provides total foot and arch support. They use 20 years of data to design a podiatrist-certified insole that distributes support across the arch no matter what foot type you have, providing extreme comfort. Get Skechers' new Arch Fit at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Excuse me? You mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course we can help you with that oil change. Doing it yourself is a great way to save some money. Right now you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And we've got even more ways to get it. Just order online with our next day delivery or free same day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
For the one standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams, cloud storage, and more, Microsoft 365 on us gives you the tools you need to run your business. Stop by a T-Mobile store today. Qualifying plan required. Contact us to activate. 1 license per line, max 2 per account. Third-party terms apply. See T-Mobile.com for plan details.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with Paper Mile Insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Whether it's betting on the big game, catching up on bills, or saving up for the holidays, we could all use a little extra cash this time of year. Hey, how does $1,000 sound? It's the ESPN Dayton hashtag We Want to Get Paid Cash Contest. Listen for the word that wins every hour, starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. Enter the word at wingam.com for your chance to win $1,000. It's the ESPN Dayton We Want to Get Paid Cash Contest. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio. We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And into the end zone goes Chris Olave. KJ Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
So you know how they're calling the games, though, right? Like they're calling the games remotely. Like you know how the Reds broadcasters, like so Skip Bosick with the Buckeyes, he posted a picture that him and Paul Keels and the Buckeye broadcast crew, they were all doing the games from Columbus. The Penn State game, they weren't at Penn State. They were calling the game remotely.
Okay, where like at the house or
no? At the house, like I think it's at the Woody Hayes Center. It's on campus somewhere. Their video production team literally set them up with these massive. I mean, they have every angle you could think of. But if you notice, at times Paul Keels was tripping up a lot during the broadcast. It's not because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's one of the best out there. It's because sometimes I saw people were like, man, is he drunk? Is he even? He's like tripping over his word. I'm like, he can't half the angles. You have to wait till the camera to actually pan over or zoom in. So there's certain numbers you couldn't see. You couldn't tell who was who half the time. That's very difficult when you're doing the game remotely as far as that goes. I think he did a fine job, but there is a disconnect there. You could even tell for baseball season, Reds and all broadcasters, but the away teams, the traveling teams, broadcasters, radio, TV, they did it remotely.
Right.
So Tommy Thraw and those guys were doing it from Cincinnati during the Red season. And, that's one thing that, to be honest, one of the things that led to to the old Thom Brenneman slip up was you know what I mean? You have people running boards. I mean, for one, he just said something really stupid. Let's not act like, it's because of the setup that was the problem. But, mics are on when they're not. Mics are on in different spot. Like, everyone was in a different spot. So, yeah, I mean, it's a completely different ball game for the broadcast.
And you can speak to that because you did the TBT from the studio right here.
Yeah, me and Norm Greavy. So we worked with ESPN. We did the ESPN sent us the video feed. People are trying to call in. By the way, the phones are down. We are efforting to, like I said, the phones were down yesterday. A drunk driver ran into one of the poles right next to our studio. It's knocked it out. So we're trying to do our best to get that fixed. They are working on it now, so we'll know. And Kev's talking real loud, so there's that. But we will figure it out and get that rolling. But yeah, so I mean, that was kind of the setup as far as that. But Norm Greavy and I, we did that whole thing here from the studio, and that was pretty cool. ESPN would send us the different angles, the different feeds, and that. So, but. Yeah, Kev, are we good? It's really loud. Sorry, just letting you know. My bad. As far as that goes. Okay, so what we're doing today, again, we want you to get out and vote. We had the poll question up, and I'm telling you right now, we're done with that poll question, but I want to put it up one more time just so everyone can see. Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, which quarterback will win a playoff game first? Here are the results, all right? The results, okay? We had over 240 votes texted into the station. The results for the final poll. Joe Burrow comes away 66% of the votes. Baker Mayfield 44.
Joey B. What's a Buckeye?
Always a Buckeye, unless you're
Tate Martell.
34, not 44, but you see my point. 34% of the vote for Baker Mayfield, 66 for Joe Burrow.
I got a phone update. You ready for the phone update?
Yes, absolutely.
Phone lines are still down. Actually, people can call when they speak. They sound very staticky. When they're not speaking, sounds clear, but that doesn't work because people want to talk on the radio. So phone lines are still technically down. We just got a phone call from Jerry. Obviously, he's a Raiders fan. He really desperately wanted to talk to you. I told him to chime in on Facebook so he could talk to you directly since the phone lines are still down. So we're still working on the phone.
Here's how the Jerry call would have gone. Gentlemen, so Baker Mayfield. Let me tell you about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield really struggled. Gentlemen, the Raiders did what I knew they were going to do. They beat the Cleveland Browns. I've been telling you can't win with Baker Mayfield. Even though last week I said you could win with Baker Mayfield, you can't win with Baker Mayfield. This week, that's how the call was going to go. He has no room to feel good about that win anyways. I mean, that team looked about as bad as the Browns, and honestly, the Browns don't have a touchdown called the other way. The Browns would have been the ones with an ugly victory as far as that. Nobody won that game from a standing standpoint. Congratulations to the Raiders. By the way, there's a huge loss for the Browns. I was just looking at that. The Browns would have had the fourth best record in the AFC. That's the stuff that drives me nuts at the end of the year. And we're talking about the total play. The Browns have the last playoff spot in the AFC right now. So for me to be cocky and act like this, the playoffs are a foregone conclusion, absolutely not. That's definitely not. They have their hands full. But those are the games that piss me off because you look back and you're going to say if the Browns just missed the playoffs and after all the smack talk I've done, it's going to be that type of game right there. You win that game, you're 6-2, and you have the fourth best record in the AFC. That's ridiculous to me. You're ahead of a lot of good teams. And that would not have been the case as far as that's concerned. They could have jumped the Ravens. They could have jumped a lot of teams. That's a big loss. The more I've had time to digest it, after being pissed off just at how they performed, that loss was bigger. I mean, I'm trying to spin it and say, they're still 5-3, and they are. Yeah. But let's be clear. We're no longer doing moral victories here. This isn't, at least we're 5-3. I know that's what I said yesterday, but no, it can't be that way. Browns fans, you got to be better than that. We got to be better than that. You got to expect more of this team. That's BS. I don't care that there was no OBJ. We spent all week talking about how, OBJ, that Baker's supposed to be better. Now, there were 5 drops. Those receivers dropped 5 passes. I told you I did the math. The 5 drops equated to about 60-plus yards. The touchdown that was overruled. I mean, receivers didn't show up. The defense was imaginary. The time of possession, the Raiders dominated that as far as that's concerned. Holy smokes. That loss, it was painful, but then when I went back and looked at the playoff standings right now, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm pulling it up right now, looking at this. The Browns, they would have been, the Titans are 5-2. Cleveland would have had a better, they would have been above them. They would have been above the Ravens. They would have been above the Colts. They would have been right there. There would have only been 2 teams in the AFC with better records than them. And actually in the NFC, there would have only been 1 team with a better record than them in the NFC. The Browns would have had the 3rd best record in the NFL had they beat the damn Raiders on Sunday. So now I'm ticked. I was fine with it. I was doing the whole moral victory thing. At least they're 5-3. No, that's stupid. Beat a bad team like the Raiders. That's embarrassing. Not just that you lost, it's how you lost. You didn't even show up. That's ridiculous. And like Kareem Hunt, where are you? I'm not going to I'm not going to do the whole, well, they didn't have Nick Chubb. They're way better with Nick Chubb. But Kareem Hunt, you led the league in rushing your rookie year. All right. And, you were supposed to be the guy. I mean, the only reason that you're not the guy is because Nick Chubb's the primary back. I was waving the flag years ago saying, well, if the Browns moved on from Chubb, you still have Kareem Hunt and you won't miss a beat. That's not the case right now. So I'm fired up. I'm looking at those standings and realizing now that the Browns are in that position where they could have had the second best record in the AFC, the third best record in the AFC, and the third best record in all of football. That's messed up. That's a missed opportunity right there. You cannot have that if you're Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, period.
Well, Jerry, you got what you asked for. Fired up Kenner.
No, I don't mind. I mean, I'm fired up at the Browns. The Raiders were embarrassing too. I wouldn't feel good about being a Raiders fan right now. There was nothing sexy about that win. You didn't learn anything about the Raiders. I mean, it is what it is. Mark Abshire on Facebook, he says, "Drunken Browns fan hit the poll on purpose because I was really going to take you to task on the Browns flop. I'm here all day, folks. That's what Facebook's for. So, Mark, take me to task on the face. I'll make sure everyone gets to see it, read it. I could take it. The Browns embarrassed themselves. Period. No, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it as far as that's concerned. But, yeah, as soon as the phone lines are back up, we'll definitely get everything set up and off and rolling as far as that's concerned. But, yes, the final results, 66% to 34%, Joe Burrow would win a playoff game first. According to your vote counts. Your vote matters. And if you didn't vote, you let Baker Mayfield down. You let Joe Burrow down from winning 5 more. You let him down.
All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and vote. Don't worry, we're sticking to sports. Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
All right, our next poll. It is up and live. We are on Facebook. Okay, go to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. You could watch us live right there. We're heading to the polls. We're going to vote again. We're going to make our voice count. We're going to make your votes count. Cincinnati Reds fans, baseball fans, this one is for you. Trevor Bauer will be a Cincinnati Red in 2021. Yes or no? I want your vote. Text your vote to 937-210-9676. The Reds have extended the qualifying offer. They're waiting on his decision. The Reds get Nick Castellanos back. He did not opt out, so you have him, who I thought was one of their most impressive offensive players all year, most consistent. They've extended the qualifying offer to Trevor Bauer. Will he accept or will he explore the free agent market? Reds fans, how confident are you? It's time to vote. Head to the polls. Get out your phones. Text your vote to 937-210-9676. 210-9676. Text your vote. Will Trevor Bauer be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? We're on to our next poll right here. Trevor Bauer be a Red in 2021, Kev?
I'm going to say no. I really wish he would be, but I think the personality that he is, he wants to be like on that bigger stage in a big time market. I mean, obviously he came from the Cleveland franchise down to the Cincinnati Reds. Who's to say he doesn't get an offer from the Padres, the team that has a lot of big bats in the lineup? He can be their ace. And they can make that run to the World Series with him in the lineup. I think he wants that spotlight, and there's no bigger spotlight in baseball than the playoffs.
All right, 937-210-9676. We're going to have this poll up for less than the last poll. We're going to have this one up for 20 minutes. It is 4:16. We will have this up until 4:45. You have 30 minutes, folks. If you're out and about driving around, you can't get your phone up, that's fine. You have 30 minutes. 4:45 will be the cutoff for the votes for this poll. Head to the polls. Trevor Bauer, will he be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? Vote yes or vote no. Text us your vote, 937-210-9676. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but Ryan Payne says the best point guard I ever played with is Kinner. Ryan Payne.
Passed the ball?
Huh?
You passed the ball?
There was this one time where it bounced off someone's leg and rolled out of bounds, and I was on the bench, so I got to pick it up and pass it back in. So
because when we used to go play ball at the Y, you never passed.
Hell no. Shooter's going to shoot. Shout out to Ryan Payne. Great hearing from you, but I am definitely not the best player. In fact, Matt would be so disappointed in you for saying that, by the way. Just throwing that out there. All right, so back to the poll question. Trevor Bauer, will he be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? Yes or no? Text your vote to 937-210-9676. A lot of interesting votes coming in right here. Not getting names on some of these. That's fine. If you want your name to be read on the air with your vote, make sure you include that. This vote right here, Kev, on 210-9676, they texted into the show saying, yes, Bauer will, but it will not be through the qualifying offer. They believe, so there's a chance that the Reds could potentially, still, he could decline the qualifying offer and potentially get more. So, but if you want to go in detail on the poll question, fine. But a simple yes or no, 210-9676. Will Trevor Bauer be a Red in 2021? I need to vote here. Yeah. All right. I'm undecided. I'm swing state Kenner right here, baby. Swing state Kenner right here. I'm undecided. I want to say no. If you take a look at baseball, you see how many good players are being just outright released.
Yeah.
Like, these teams don't want to retain these contracts. They don't want to keep these guys.
Financial situation, man. I saw an article about the Cleveland Indians, and they were down 15% just this past season. So you can only imagine how other teams in smaller markets are dealing with their financial situation. I mean, if you can't pay one of the best closers in hand $1 million, or $10 million, he was due $10 million. You paid him $1 million to go away. Like, yikes. Things are rough out here. They are rough, and here's what's going to happen. You're going to have two super teams next year because there's going to be and I hope it's the Reds, but there are going to be franchises that smell chum in the water. Okay, and they are going to, like, if you are a franchise right now, you're going to prove to your fan base, whether you're scared and timid or whether you're balls to the wall going for a World Series. Because you know what? People are acting like, oh, well, the Reds, they can't afford Hand. They were just outright, move on from Francisco Lindor because they can't even afford to keep him for next year. Right.
Oh, well, the Reds can't afford him. The sad thing is with these players, Kev, right now, like, if I'm Trevor Bauer, I actually accept the qualifying offer for the Reds. Who's to say you're going to get that money out on the free agent trail? You turn down the qualifying offer. By the way, I do believe Nick Castellanos made a brilliant decision by not opting out and just making his 15, 16, 17 mil with the Reds next year. Because had he opted out, he's not making that money on the free agent market. Hand is not going to make the money he's actually worth. These players are not going to get paid what they're worth this offseason. So, you know what?
A lot of shorter deals.
I think Trevor Bauer is all about the 1-year deals.
Right.
I truly believe, and I think that if I'm the Reds, I do incentive based out the Yahoo. Okay. Given the qualifying offer, increase. It should all be guaranteed, but I would add more stacked, incentive based stuff on the top of it too, which I'm assuming is what was a part of the original deal to begin with. I disagree when I hear people say, well, the Reds don't have a chance to go out and get Hand and some of these other guys. I think they can, because Hand to them, we're acting like that the Reds are going to have to pay them what they're worth. These guys aren't going to get paid what they're worth. And if I'm Trevor Bauer, I sit tight with the Reds for one more year. You're about to win a Cy Young Award. You're about to be on a playoff team again next year. Stay with them. Win your Cy Young again next year. Back-to-back years of pitching dominant with the Reds. Go get your real money after the COVID-stricken season next year too. I think he's back with the Reds. My vote's yes. Our goal is to sway you guys, for you undecided voters out there, and for those voting on Facebook. Although your vote is appreciated, it doesn't count. Your vote only counts by texting it into the show at 210-9676. Put a 937 in front of it. 937-210-9676. Will Trevor Bauer be a Red in 2021? I 1,000,000% think he will be. I'm that confident now, because the more I think about it, he may think Trevor Bauer's going to say, I'm worth more. I'm going to opt out. I'm going to decline the qualifying offer from the Reds, and I'm going to go get what I'm worth elsewhere. No player in the free agent market is going to get what they're worth next year. That's why the players that signed those big deals last offseason, good for them. They got paid during the season, good for them. You're not getting paid this summer, or this spring, or this winter and spring. So if I'm Trevor Bauer, I accept the qualifying offer. I really do.
Fair enough. That's a good point. I mean, you kind of swayed me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
It's the stash.
Yeah.
It's the stash.
Keep it growing.
It's the I've been told by 3 people in the building today in passing to get rid of the stash and to bring the goatee back, but don't leave the stash. And you know me, When people tell me to do something, I do the opposite. So I'm stashing it up, baby. I look like Paul Blart Mall Cop right there. I'm telling you right now. All right, folks, I'm telling you, I feel pretty confident about this. If you're just tuning into the Justin Kinner Show right now here on 1410 ESPN Radio, we're, it's the Election Day edition of the show. We want you to vote. We need you to head to the polls. 937-210-9676. Text in yes, text in no. Do you believe Trevor Bauer will be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? Kevin and I both give you our reasons why we believe yes and no. I want to see if it's enough to sway your vote for those of you who are undecided out there. Text into the show now. We'll have the results for you when we come back, and we'll keep it going. Don't go anywhere. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear and sunny with a high near 60. Tonight's also going to be clear with a low around 41. And tomorrow is going to be clear and sunny with a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
The Advantage program from Stevenson Service Experts takes the stress out of maintaining your home comfort system. Pay no money down, one low monthly rate, and nothing for maintenance and repairs. The Advantage program from Stevenson Service Experts. Learn more at 866-EXPERTS or StevensonHVAC.com. See website for license details.
Dayton's favorite, Casano's Pizza King, is open for delivery or carryout at any of our 33 locations. Call 294-KING and see for yourself why the proof is in the taste. That's 294-KING for delivery or carryout at a location near you. Pizza King.
When you're stressed, you just don't feel like yourself. New Natrol Relaxia, a full line of drug-free supplements to help you manage occasional stress and anxiety. A special blend of herbals keeps you feeling calm and balanced throughout the day. Because when there's less stress, there's more you. Try new Natrol Relaxia. Learn more at relaxiamood.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you're curious about who may be out there but don't want to jump into anything right away, then take a fun step and just take a look at Our Time. Our Time is the #1 dating site for singles over 50. It's easy to use and can help you find a partner to share in a new activity you've been wanting to try. Take a walk or just meet someone new. Check it out. Start for free today. Go to ourtime.com. That's ourtime.com. Start for free at ourtime.com.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring for brand new home daily dedicated lanes. Earn up to $1,620 per week. A $2,000 sign-on bonus, medical, dental, vision, company paid life insurance. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com.
Starting route. Your destination is 0.1 miles away.
If you drive less than
500 feet, turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
If you drive less than 25 miles a day, you could be paying less every day with pay-per-mile car insurance from Allstate. You get the same reliable coverage and hands-on expertise you'd expect from Allstate, but now at a price that's tailored to the miles you drive.
Call your local Allstate agent and start paying what's right for you. Includes a daily rate. Prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Not applicable in California. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates.
I like a bed that's really firm. I need something a little softer than that. Rest easy. With the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet. Okay, but can it help keep us asleep? It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save $1,000 on the Queen Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed, now $1,799. Only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams, cloud storage, and more, Microsoft 365 on us gives you the tools you need to run your business. Stop by a T-Mobile store today. Qualifying plan required. Contact us to activate. 1 license per line, max 2 per account. Third-party terms apply. See T-Mobile.com for plan details.
My husband, Alex Hussey, was hit by an IED in Afghanistan.
I was playing man in foot patrol and I stopped on the bomb. Lost my legs and my left hand in an explosion.
DAV helps veterans of every generation to get the benefits they've earned.
To see Alex learning to snow ski, that's life-changing.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
This has meant so much. Thank you, DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
David Brannon is the right choice for Montgomery County probate judge. With 15 years representing families in probate court, David Brannon cares about helping people in need. Brannon is the only candidate certified as a probate expert, and David Brannon is endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. Trusted, experienced, fair. David Brannon for Montgomery County Probate Judge.
I am David Brannon, and I approve this message.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing discount drive-bys in Mile West. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Order! Continue, Miss Garner.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day.
Objection! My credit card doesn't earn double miles on every purchase.
I object to your objection. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase.
Order!
And right now, earn 100,000 bonus miles when you spend $20,000 in your first year.
I'll allow it.
No further questions, Your Honor. Well, just one. What's in your wallet?
Limited time offer. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
What's in store this holiday at your local Staples?
Decking the halls with custom cards and invitations.
Staples makes connecting with clients and loved ones easy with hundreds of holiday templates you can customize and call your own.
And now, for a limited time, get 30% off custom holiday cards and invitations. Some can even be printed same day.
Shop in store or order online.
And ring in the holiday for less this year at Staples.
Ends 12/19/20. Limit 1. Visit staples.com/holiday cards or store for details.
Allstate now has deeper savings, and deeper savings require deep thoughts and a deep voice, like mine. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise, and save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's deep.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
NFL fans, the season is finally here. Get your picks submitted at wingam.com. Click on contest and enter the Pro Football Challenge. Weekly winners will win $20 in Frickers Fun Bucks. Get to wingam.com and get your NFL picks submitted now.
Touchdown! Incredible!
Good luck. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle. All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and vote. Don't worry, we're sticking to sports. Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
All right, and we are back, heading to the polls. Trevor Bauer will be a Cincinnati Red in 2021, yes or no? Text us your vote. Vote, baby. 937-210-9676. Will Trevor Bauer be a Red in 2021? Text yes or no. It's that simple to 937-210-9676. We're encouraging those listening to text their vote in. Your vote only counts towards the percentage votes if you text it in, but I have no problem reading some of your responses on Facebook, and that's where we're going to go now. David Shawkev says, does hell no count as a no? It counts as a no. It doesn't count as more than one no, but that's a very, a lot of emphasis on the no. I still think, and Shaw, trust me, everyone out there that has no faith in him being a Red, I was kind of leaning more towards that at the beginning of the show. But the more the show's gone on, and I've been following a lot of these articles during the breaks about some of the free agents that have come about, there's a lot of these teams, a lot of these teams have moved on from these players, Kev, not because these players are demanding this money. It's mainly because of the fact that this is what they would owe them with them being on their roster. By them hitting the free agent market, these guys aren't guaranteed anything out of the free agent market other than what they work out with their future team. The reason that you see the Indians move on from Hand and some of those guys is mainly because for them to stay on the Indians roster, they have to pay him that much.
Right.
For Hand in the free agent market, he doesn't have to get paid anything other than what he agrees to be paid for by the teams. The teams have the leverage in this free agent market here in 2021. But 457-9464, by the way, great news. Okay, great news. The phone lines are back up. Are the phone lines back up?
You're welcome, America.
Yeah, that's the real, right there. Kev Nash, 2020. Kev Nash runs Dayton. That's your slogan.
Indeed.
Kev Nash runs Dayton, 2020. So it's 2024 will be the next one. Okay. I'll be your vice president.
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go.
We're running as independents.
I actually, you know what? No, running against you is funner. I would rather run against you. I would rather
guess
run
what? I guarantee you I'll win.
I don't know. I've been known to sway some folks. It's the stash, man. It's all about the stash. So the free agent market's interesting to me because of that. So here's the deal. I'm looking at, if you think back to last offseason, you want to know who really kind of hurt themselves more than anything? Marcell Ozuna. All right, the outfielder for the Atlanta Braves, former Cardinal. He wanted, he was almost a Cincinnati Red. The Reds almost pulled the trigger on him last year. In fact, the Reds had offered him an $18 million contract, or had offered him a multi-year contract. And instead he accepted a 1-year, $18 million contract with the Atlanta Braves. The Reds were willing to give him more guaranteed money over a over a 3-year period. He turned that down to gamble on himself. Well, he had such a good year that in a normal offseason he would get paid. He's not going to get paid. I bet you he's kicking himself right now for not taking that guaranteed money from the Cincinnati Reds to be there with the team for 3 years last year.
That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money out there. And it's like we were talking about this whole show about how revenue is going to be down big time. I saw an article how the revenue in the NBA is going to be down. So when revenue is down in major sports, it affects not only the ownership partners, but it affects the guys that's playing the actual sports. So you're right. There's a lot of bargains out there, because the Indians couldn't afford to pay Hand $10 million. He could sign a free agent deal with whomever for $5 million just because the Indians couldn't afford to pay him. So he could be, at anywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the best closers in the league.
All right. Right now, just so we are clear, right now it's about 72%. So the last we calculated, 72% of the voters have voted yes, or they voted no, that he will not be a Cincinnati Red in 2021. Again, keep in mind the Reds have offered him that qualifying offer. Some people have messaged in saying that they believe that he will be a Red. However, he will decline the qualifying offer. If he declines the qualifying offer, I don't think he becomes a Cincinnati Red at that point. If the Reds offered you money,
right,
I think you got to take it if you're Trevor Bauer right now, because he's made it clear in the past he only wants to do 1-year deals to begin with. The Reds are in that touch and go type of situation anyways, with a lot of these shorter contracts. I think it makes a ton of sense for Trevor Bauer and the Reds to reunite for 1 year, accept the qualifying offer, do it again next year, and then reset. He'll have even more leverage. If he repeats the performance he had this year, Kev, next year, he'll have even more leverage the following off season when he hits the market. I have more faith that he'll be a Red next year than I do him being a Red the following year, as far as that's concerned. So 70+% of the votes right now state that they do not believe he will be a Red. I believe he will be a Red as far as that's concerned. But we want your vote. Text us your vote. 937-210-9676. Good news, Kev. Nick on Facebook says, I would vote for Kevin. So you're already winning that election as far as that goes.
Appreciate your vote.
Philip Reed, he texted in his vote, and he also leaving us a message in the comment section on Facebook. Philip Reed says he voted no on the text. Qualifying offer is way too low. He will get paid by a team like the Astros or the Red Sox. I don't know. And no offense, Philip, I don't even think you know. I don't even think the Astros and them know. There are good teams who are releasing good players right now because they don't want to be financially linked into these guys. I think you're going to see a lot of teams release guys and then maybe go back out into the waters to see what they can catch and release a little bit, right? They had these guys caught, they released them. They're going to go right back out and try to see what they can catch again. I'm very, very interested as far as to how that's going to work out. But man, I'm going to stick to my vote. Trevor Bauer will be a Red in 2021 as far as that goes. But continue to text in your vote at 210-9676. We're going to get to our conversation with ESPN's Jason Fitz coming up around the corner. We're going to get to some of your phone calls. So we're going to kill this music. So as of right now, the phone lines are back up and running?
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of Bengals fans who want to get back on the line, who tried to get in yesterday. I'm not hiding from you, I promise. So I'm going to go to your phone calls now. You have 8 minutes to continue to get your votes in. 210-9676. Will the Reds will Trevor Bauer be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? Text yes or no. Text your vote to 210-9676. Let's go to the phones. We got Mark. Mark is waiting on us. Mark, how are you, sir?
Kevin.
Mark, is this Dickie?
Yeah.
Oh, man, this ain't Mark.
How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing fan-freaking-tastic. I tell you, I feel a little...
You know, we got to celebrate. I'm happy with the Browns' record so far, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Did you say celebrate? Oh, yeah. We're going to celebrate, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 5-3. I really think
I'm telling you.
The second half, they've got at least 4 winnable games. At least they've got 5 winnable games.
I agree. I predicted this team to win 12, Dickie, and they lose to the Raiders. That they're no longer winning 12. 10-11 now is kind of where I'm sitting at. But if they could lose to the Raiders, they could lose to any of those winnable remaining games, and that's what scares me about this Browns team. They're good enough to beat anyone on their schedule, but they're bad enough to lose to anybody.
I think Baker Mayfield has the team together. You know, you're missing somebody like Chubb, but that schedule, I saw the second half. You've got games you can win, you know?
Absolutely. And then there's trolls on Facebook like David Shaw that said winnable like the Raiders, even though I just got done saying that, hey, I consider the Raiders winnable. So even the winnable games moving forward, I'm still concerned about those games. But, hey, troll's going to troll. Troll's going to troll.
You know, I'm surprised. You know, I predicted that the Bengals would win Sunday. For some reason, I thought they'd be up for it. But that Burrow is probably the answer to that club, isn't he?
Yes, but to be fair, Burrow has been Burrow every week. That's the Joe Burrow the Bengals fans see every single week. Yeah. What was different about Sunday from any other week is that the offensive line blocked and the defense got turnovers and made stops. So I credit Joe Burrow for having a good game against the Titans, but he's not why they beat the Titans. The offensive line, the defense, that's why they beat the Titans, not Joe Burrow.
And I like the quarterback of Ohio State. Looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, he hasn't missed a beat. He hasn't declined at all as far as that's concerned. So he's in good shape. I think the Buckeyes are in good shape moving forward. And right now it's good. The Heisman vote, the Heisman Trophy, it's going to come down between him, Trevor Lawrence, and the Mac Jones kid from Alabama.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'd check in, Justin.
Yep, I'm glad. You know what? I'm so glad that the phones are back up and running and that the first voice I hear is yours. That's a great way to start out the calls.
There's a lot of, we get to wear our outfits on Sunday, and I always wear my Browns little sweatshirt,
There you go, man. That's how especially now it's cold enough to do it. All right.
I hear from my cousin. She's the first cousin in the family. And, my other cousin lives in Tennessee, Texas. But he's been, he always supported the Browns, Indians, and Cavs. And his name's Tony.
Tony, yeah.
Tony, he's a good guy. He learned music like I did from my dad's family up north,
Absolutely. I'm glad you're still doing that, by the way. Hey, send us out with this, Dickie. We're doing a poll on Facebook right now. Will Trevor Bauer be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? I need your vote. Are you going to vote yes or no?
Yes.
You think he'll be a Red in 2021?
I think he'll be a Red. Yeah, I do.
All right. That's what I needed to hear.
Hey, good talking to you.
You too. You take care.
Okay.
All right. That was Dickie. That's always the life of the party. Always brings a smile to people's faces. Always has a ton of energy. Absolutely. I love when he calls in. Shout out to Dickie. All right. Now we got Mark?
Yes, we got Mark.
Mark, you are up, sir. How are you?
Good, Justin. How's it going?
Not good, but it's based on the over like joy in your voice right now. I can just tell that this is just not going in a good direction.
No. Well, as much as you love hearing Nick be your first caller, you may not like your second.
I always like when you call. We're good.
Thank you. On a day like today, we really need to keep it light, but I'm going to take a little swing at you, but I mean it all in fun, okay?
Oh, okay. That's like when people say no offense, but it's about to be really offensive.
Yeah, after but. Whatever comes after but, usually not good.
Exactly. All right. What do you got for us?
Thank goodness the phone lines were down yesterday because I was seething at you. And sometimes, you need a cooling off period. And I cooled off, so I'm going to come at you light today.
How did I make you see?
The weather was bad. We had drop balls, the 30 for 30, and I was seething at you. But I'm like, okay, but you've done something. You've committed the cardinal sin of being a sports fan. And you, with the outlet to broadcast over the airwaves, you've done a real cardinal sin. You predicted future wins instead of just focusing on that one ahead of you. And I think, just like Steve Bartman with a foul ball in Chicago and the GOAT in Boston, you have cursed the Browns. You looked ahead, and you guys fell flat on your face. So I'm just going to predict, and not looking at future victories, you guys do not make the playoffs. In fact, there's a lot more losses coming simply because I believe you cursed your team. I know that's terrible, but I'm just throwing it out there. You counted victories before you had them, and you lost to a bad team. So all I will say is this, again, before we say who's going to win the first playoff game between Baker and Joe Burrow, I believe it'll be Baker, even though I'm a big Bengal fan, simply because they have a better team right now. I think the Bengals are a few years off from a playoff victory. I don't think the Browns are that far off, but it's not coming this year, baby, because you cursed your team.
Well, keep in mind, keep in mind, and what's funny is I picked, and I may have cursed your team because I voted, okay, because we're all about the votes today. I voted for
reverse the curse.
It's the reverse psychology.
Marvin Lewis.
Yes.
You can't curse the curse, buddy.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
We have had the ability to snatch the defeat from the jaws of victory 4 times this year. Whether it's a missed kick or whatever, we have, and even Sunday, Joe Burrow threw a terrible interception right into guys' hands after they came down and scored, but it got called back, or that was a bad pick.
That would have been 5 straight games of a turnover for old Joey B. Walk on water himself, man.
Pick, but we got lucky.
Yep.
Other than fun, though, I just think watch now. The Browns are going to go on a horrible losing streak until you take back what you did.
I also, by the way, Doug Toby and he made. I just met Doug Toby today. He dropped off the Bengals jersey. I know you're on the phone, not watching, but as part of the bet, I lost the bet. I have to wear this Bengals jersey tomorrow. It's been dropped off. It's right here. I will be wearing the Bengals jersey tomorrow to settle my bet. So it's fair. It's fair.
I'll just leave you with this one glaring statistic about the Browns' loss. It wasn't the completion percentage because obviously the weather wasn't real good, et cetera. But Baker Mayfield was not sacked one time. That means either bad decisions or something happened. But he, as good as he was against the Bengals, he was bad against a not real.
He was not bad, actually. If the 5 drops are caught, he's completed 70% plus of his passes. All right, the run game was not there. The defense clearly wasn't there. There really wasn't much more that Baker could have done in that game. I mean, I guess he could have completed the 8 legit drops or the missed passes that he had, but I don't think he played horrible.
I do respect you for one thing you didn't do, and then I'll give you your kudos here.
Well,
you didn't blame this on OBJ, and it's not all about OBJ.
No, I think it's a part of it.
The next man up.
Yep. So, hey, Mark.
All right, guys.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate your call. And that's fine. And again, at the end of the day, congratulations, because this is a week of celebrating. It's a week of heading to the polls and voting. It's a week of gloating. It's a week of our guy won the presidency, your guy lost. It's a week of our team won, your team lost. It's a week of, Joe Burrow's better than Baker, even though we know that's not true. But we all are about celebrating the weirdest things in life. Bengals fans are celebrating being 2-5-1. 2-5-1. And I love Mark. I love that. I appreciate that he called in. But a fan of a team 2-5-1 had a problem with the Browns. 5-3, baby. They beat the Raiders on Sunday. They have the 3rd best record in the AFC. You're making fun of that team. That's all I got to say. All right, folks. We're going to tally up the final vote. The final vote. Trevor Bauer, will he be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? I'll have the final tally for you when we come back. Plus, I have a new poll question for everybody. A new poll question which features Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer, baby. It features Urban Meyer. Stick around for, again, it's the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash. It is, of course, the Election Day edition of the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash. The next poll question's coming up. It involves Urban Meyer. Plus, we'll have the final tally. Trevor Bauer, will he be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? We'll get to that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Celebrate, Bengals fans. 2-5-1, baby. Yeah. Best 2-5-1 team out there.
We go celebrate. Yeah.
It's the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Try Vicks VapoCool Drops in Honey Lemon Chill for a fast-acting relief of Not to mention a soothing chill. So remember, Vicks Vapor Cool Drops are and yeah, honey lemon chill. Get fast-acting relief with Vicks Vapor Cool Drops in honey lemon chill. Use as directed.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would he do that? The train still doesn't stop. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
You're ready to get back into yoga, so you order the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath. Breathe.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for the previews to start in a movie theater.
Hey, you want anything? Popcorn? Soda? No, nothing.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When you needed your mom, she was always there with the Vicks Vapor Rub. She used that soothing scent to calm you. And her mom used it to calm her. And her mom, well, you get the idea. Vicks Vapor Rub's always been there. It always made you feel better. And today, it still does. Bring back those childhood memories with the comfort and care only Vicks Vapor Rub can bring. Vicks Vapor Rub, family tradition for a reason.
Napa know-how. Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Roosters would like to thank all of our loyal guests and all the loyal Buckeye fans for your support this year. Because of you, we've been able to stay open and keep our award-winning team employed. Our team members go above and beyond and are dedicated to providing you and your family the safest dining experience possible while still providing a fun, casual atmosphere to relax, laugh, and enjoy our award-winning food. Roosters, the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, my name is James, and I'm voting for LaRonda Jackson for state representative because I have experienced her dedication to my family and to our community. LaRonda Jackson will listen to your concerns and bridge the gap between your house and the state house. LaRonda Jackson does the heavy lifting, and she will fight for livable wages and our children's education. That is who I want representing me at the state house. LaRonda Jackson stands for unity, vision, and values. Join me and vote for LaRonda Jackson.
Paid for by Friends of LaRonda Jackson.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course we can help you with that oil change. Doing it yourself is a great way to save some money. Right now you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And we've got even more ways to get it. Just order online with our next day delivery or free same day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for the previews to start in a movie theater.
Hey, you want anything? Popcorn? Soda? No, nothing.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize performance, increase strength, and give you the dependability you demand. We engineer our equipment precisely at every level. It's what makes us a leader. Save up to $11,000 on construction equipment or get 0% APR financing for 60 months. Now through December 31st, 2020. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
See Columbus Equipment Company, 7570 New Carlisle Pike in Dayton.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? Being a member of the Air Force Reserve. It's doing a job that makes a difference, serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve. To find out about local job opportunities with the Air Force Reserve at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base or Youngstown Air Reserve Station, call 800-257-1212 or go to afreserve.com. Sponsored by the Air Force Reserve and aired in cooperation with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with Paper Mile Insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on the Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com. All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and vote. Don't worry, we're sticking to sports. Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. Justin Kiddo, Kevin Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. So great news. Just a reminder, the phone lines are back up. Drunk driver yesterday ran into a pole. I'm not joking. I have the pic. In fact, if you're watching live on Facebook, if you give me during this upcoming break, I will have the picture to prove that I did not make it up, that I did not cut the phone lines yesterday to what I literally got. Like, you know how many emails I got of people accusing me of lying about the phone? I called and you didn't answer. It was ringing. I don't care if it was ringing. Someone drove through a damn pole. Like, I mean, come on now. I mean, like, so we have the phone lines back up and running. That is all that is. That's all that matters.
Jerry, call back.
Yeah, Jerry. Gentlemen, this is Jerry. I picked the Lakers to win the NBA championship. It's a hot take of mine. No one else saw it coming. LeBron James, Anthony Davis. No one saw it coming. I'm the all-knowing. Gentlemen, Jerry, call in. I know you're going to talk smack. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to roll. Gentlemen. All right, folks. So we wrapped up the Trevor Bauer poll. We had 240 votes for the first one with Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield. And we had 122 votes for the Trevor Bauer. So Trevor Bauer, 122 votes were texted in. Trevor Bauer, will he be a Cincinnati Red in 2021? You were instructed to text your vote to 210-9676. And we had 88 yeses, or 88 no's, I'm sorry. 88 no's. He will not be a Red in 2021. And 34 yeses. I'm one of the 34. All right. I'm one of the 34.
I'm one of the no's.
So you're one of the no's. And that's fine. So 72% of the voters said that Trevor Bauer will not be a Cincinnati Red in 2021. I believe he will. I believe that right now the market is scary out there, man. Like, teams are releasing really, really good players because they don't want to pay him. And if Trevor Bauer takes his chances, it goes to the free agent market. And maybe, by the way, the qualifying offer, he can get that same type of money elsewhere. Okay, maybe he can get that elsewhere. Maybe he just wants to go to a bigger market. And if that's the case, then the Reds can't compete with that. There's nothing they can do. But it's going to be interesting. If I'm Trevor Bauer, you know you can win in Cincinnati. You are about to win a Cy Young in Cincinnati. Stay for one more year. Repeat that success. All right. And hit the market next year with even more leverage of back-to-back years of Cy Young level of performances, potential more playoff performances. If I'm Trevor Bauer, I go in for one more year with the Reds and see what you can do as far as that's concerned. But that wraps up the Trevor Bauer one. You ready for the next one?
Absolutely.
Now we have Obi Toppin or Urban Meyer. Let's do Urban Meyer. We'll do Obi Toppin coming up here. All right. Here is our next poll. Our next poll question, again, it's the Election Day edition of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. We're having a blast today. Again, it's such a stressful day for a lot of people. People are tense. They're upset, and I get it. But I don't care about that. We're not focusing on that. We're trying to be loose. We're trying to have fun. So let's talk Urban Meyer. Head to the polls. Urban Meyer will be a head coach in college football in 2021. Yes or no? Text your vote to 937-210-9676. If you're watching live on Facebook, you see the graphic right there. We're heading to the polls. It's the Election Day edition of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. Urban Meyer, will he be a head coach in college football in 2021? Yes or no? Text your vote to 937-210-9676. And we'll get to your responses when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Hour 3 of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Dayton's favorite, Casano's Pizza King, is open for delivery or carryout at any of our 33 locations. Call 294-KING and see for yourself where the proof is in the taste. That's 294-KING for delivery or carryout at a location near you. Pizza King.
Advance is helping you get your engine ready for the road this holiday season with the right oil, the right filter, at the right price every day. Get 5 quarts of full synthetic Mobil 1, Valvoline, Castrol Edge, or Pennzoil Platinum with the Mobil 1 oil filter for just $33.99. Plus, this holiday season, get a $25 NBA store gift card and 2 times Speed Perks points instantly with the purchase of 5 quarts of Mobil 1. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Ever wonder just how far an extra mile really goes? Drive a Mercedes-Benz van and find out. Start with a network of over 250 authorized dealerships backed by a sales force ready to help you with everything from customization to service on vans like the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that's tailored to your lifestyle, with options like blind spot assist and MBUX voice command for spoken directions, weather, and more.
The route is being calculated.
So whether you're enjoying life on the trail or working hard on the job, see how far an extra mile can really go by taking the first step into an authorized Mercedes-Benz van dealership today. Now with IRS Section 179, businesses can be eligible for up to a $25,900 tax deduction. That's up to $5,439 in tax savings.
Options and model availability may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Some equipment described as optional. $5,439 tax savings based on 21% federal tax rate and eligibility to claim full $25,900 Section 179 vehicle deduction. Your tax rate and eligibility may vary. Consult your tax advisor for more information. Limits may apply. Visit nbvans.com. Offer valid through December 31st, 2020.
Call It Propane has been serving the Buckeye Nation in the Miami Valley for over 65 years.
Let our family help protect your family from old man winter. Find out why 98% of our customers would recommend us to friends and family. Ask about the service options at 937-372-9194.
Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Call It Propane and Call It Seal Coating are proud to serve the Buckeye Nation.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and vote.
Don't worry, we're sticking to sports.
Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
Head to the polls. It's time to vote. It's the Election Day edition of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. I hope all of you are tired today from exercising. I hope everyone has been exercising. I hope all of you exercised your right to vote. I hope everyone exercised their right to vote. So the poll question today, all right, our new poll for the Election Day edition of the show is, will Urban Meyer coach again in 2021? Not the NFL, college football. Urban Meyer will be a head coach in college football in 2021, yes or no? Text your vote to 937-210-9676. We are officially a full season and a half without Urban Meyer, Kev. Do you believe the world of college football without Urban Meyer, do you think that world comes to an end at the end of this college football season? Is Urban Meyer pacing the sidelines of a college football program next fall?
2021, no. I'm going to say no. I'm going to jump out there and say no for the same reasons a lot of these pro athletes are going to be hurting for money. Like, a lot of these schools can't afford to fire their coach because the contracts that they have, you have to pay them out. Like, Florida State still paying Willie Taggart a ton of money, and then he went and got another job. So he's getting money from Florida State, getting money from FAU. Like, he's making money hand over fist. So a lot of these programs can't afford to fire their coach and then hire Urban Meyer for what he's going to be asking for. So I know there's a lot of oil money in Texas and everything like that. I know it's a lot of money in California with USC, and they haven't even played a game. We're talking about firing their coach. So I'm going to venture and say no, not this year. I think it's going to be somewhere like, all right, we're going to let this whole COVID thing work itself out, kind of get the quote unquote back to normal, and then coaches will get fired, he gets hired, and so not 2021. No.
Here's why I do believe he is next year. To counter the reasons you stated, yes, that's a real concern. Programs are not going to want to fire coaches who have guaranteed money that they would then have to pay money to coaches off the staff and the new coach coming in. But the thing about coaching in college football is you can look at that position as a position of employment. I like to look at that as a position of investment. And everyone should be investing in their employees. Everyone that hires an employee, that employee should be bringing something to the table that is putting your business and company in position to succeed in one way or another. But let's be clear. If this was the NFL, I would agree with you 1,000,000%. But coaches in college football and really college athletics in general, it goes beyond just what they know X's and O's wise. Texas isn't going to bring in Urban Meyer because, he's really smart with the X's and O's. Urban Meyer will be brought into Texas next year if Urban Meyer wants to coach again, because yes, the X's and O's, but because of what he could do on the recruiting trail. And when you create the buzz on the recruiting trail, that's when you get more boosters involved. You get more money from boosters. Your enrollment goes through the roof. Like, colleges cannot afford to die down during the down period.
Right.
You have to you have to continue to strike while you can. You have to continue to try to invest into your program to make money, because if other programs are going to lie low, Texas can't afford that. Tom Herman's not it. Everyone thought it was going to be it. Texas thought Charlie Strong was going to be it. Texas has been looking for the next Mac Brown since Mac Brown, and they have failed every time. The one thing Texas continues to do is to try and do the right thing, and that's let's go reach out to coordinators, young up-and-coming coordinators. They tried it with Charlie Strong. It didn't work. They tried it with Tom Herman. It's not working. And I know they got a win recently, but whatever. All that matters is getting to the college football playoff. Texas has never been to the college football playoff. As Texas, when you think of the blue bloods in college football, Texas likes to put themselves in that conversation. But how does a team like Washington make the college football playoff before Texas? How does a team like Michigan State make the college football playoff before Texas? How do and that's no disrespect to those programs, because they're decent programs, but Texas should almost be a lock every single year, or it at least should come down to Oklahoma knocking them out of the playoff in the last game of the year. Texas has been eliminated from playoff contention before we even get to the first polls half the time. The very first college football playoff polls that come out, they haven't. Did you know Texas has never even been in a college football playoff poll since it started in 2014?
That's
Penn State has, Michigan has, Michigan State has. There have been multiple Big Ten teams that have been at least in the college football playoff poll when it has come out at some point. Texas has not. The Pac-12 has had 4 different teams in that conversation. Texas has not. That's a problem. They are desperate. They cannot afford another year with Tom Herman. Sure, you would have to pay him a lot of money, but if you're going to continue to pay him a lot of money to do nothing for your program, that's setting you back, even not just for the year of COVID, but for years to come after COVID. Urban Meyer, you would be in some hurt to pay him and Tom Herman right away. But man, Urban Meyer, if there's a coach out there, he's proved it everywhere he goes, that if there's a program struggling, he can get them back on their feet like that. He did it at Utah. He did it with Bowling Green. Did it with Utah. He did it with Ohio State and Florida. And now he has a chance to do it with Texas and potentially win a national championship in his 3rd different conference. No other coach in the history of college football has done that. To me, I know what you're saying. I think that's a real concern. But I think what's even more of a concern to Texas is another year of Tom Herman, another year of not living up to the recruitment standards and the performance standards. If they have to go into a little bit of debt to pay Urban and him, just so Urban can have them come out on top when it's all said and done, I think Urban's definitely worth it as far as that's concerned. I'm going to vote yes. Urban Meyer's coaching in 2021, and I believe that he is the coach
of the
Texas Longhorns.
Hook 'em. What about this aspect, though? You think Urban Meyer's ready for that stress level again? Because we saw how he was on the sidelines of Ohio State.
To be honest, I think that we're going to question that no matter what job he takes out there. But I still think he has has that itch to coach?
I think the stress level at Texas is going to be different from whomever takes over for Tom Herman if Tom Herman is let go after this season. Not only the stress of playing big-time college football as a head coach, but everything that's going on between them and the administration with the fight song of All Eyes on Texas and everything like that, with its racial undertones and everything like that. A lot of the players aren't standing after the game singing a fight song to the crowd like the alumni base would want and a lot of the boosters would want. And Tom Herman is that base, and the people that actually sign his checks are telling him, you better get him to do it. So, like, outside of all that, outside of everything that's happening on the field, the wins and losses, he's dealing with that. I'm not sure if I'm a coach out there, I want to deal with that right now with everything that's going on in the world. I'm not sure I want to just walk into that situation, because I think the right thing to do is to stand by your players for a song that's a All Eyes on Texas song. Well, the Eyes of Texas, excuse me, that song and everything, that the undertones of that song. I'm not sure that I would want to step into that situation right now.
Well, maybe, but right now in the world that we live in, there's those situations everywhere, and I don't think you're going to go to a clean situation anywhere. That is something that is going to exist more now in regards to players being more culturally aware of their power and what they bring to the table. That's going to be whether Urban takes a job at TCU or takes a job at Texas. So, I see what you're saying, but I think that Urban's no dummy. He knows what he'll be walking into. Hell, if Ryan Day takes an NFL job and Urban goes back to Ohio State, which, by the way, I'm not saying that as if I think that's going to happen. I'm just bringing that up as a scenario of, hey, there would be expectations for Urban round 2 at Ohio State if that was to be. So I do think Urban's coaching again in 2021. You've heard Kev's view. You've heard mine. Let's hear yours. We'll even open up the phone lines now because we planned on doing this little poll thing because the phone lines were down, but they're back up. But I do want you to text us your vote. Text us 937-210-9676. Head to the polls. Vote, vote, vote. Let your voice, let your sports opinion be heard. Yes or no. Text your vote to 937-210-9676. Urban Meyer, will he be a head coach in 2021 in college football? I believe he will. Kev, who do we have on hold?
We got Jim on the line.
Jim, how are you, sir?
All right, Kev, you're my spirit animal, just letting you know on the radio.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
I completely agree with you, but I need you to look at your co-host, if you guys are back in the same room. Ask him why he hates Urban Meyer so much.
Kenner, why do you hate Urban Meyer so much? And actually, you know what, Jim? It's vice versa. He loves
What in the blue hell did I do that I hate Urban Meyer?
I know. I listen to you every day. I got to bust you because it's you. And I'm finally on the. You finally stopped trolling all the Bengals fans and line up. Luckily, I'm a Seahawks fan, so I got no skin in the game. Let me be honest with you. I'm just going to say no. He is not going to coach because I love him, and I hope he does not. I truly hope he doesn't. For everything that Kev was saying, and I think that this is your fandom in there, Justin, just saying that, because I would love to see him coach, but you know what they say. What is Urban Meyer known for? Turnaround programs or bringing them back up, being elite, winning championships. That's one.
You're missing a few bullet points in there, but yeah, you touched on the main ones.
Well, you want me to take up your entire show? I'll just read down I'm sorry. Why do you hate me so much? I'm on the radio. I'm calling you. Why do you hate me? Come on, man. So I really hope he doesn't. He's known for doing that, but he's also known for letting the stress get to him. His health is not great, and he does not take demotions. So he went from Houston, Florida, Ohio State, all up. And if he's going to go, I would love to see him coach if he went to like a D2 school just because he loves the art of coaching and really just, bring some notoriety to a program strictly because he loves the kids, and we know he does. But going to Texas, that's why I say you hate him, man. We know that's fool's gold. You know it. Stop it.
I don't think it's that far fetched. I thought USC. I thought he was for sure going to be at USC.
No, but I love what the man did. Truthfully, I mean, you can't really hate him. Every coach has got a little bit of baggage that goes with doing big programs. But I really hope he stays to what he's doing and really focuses on himself and his family instead of taking over a major program, because you see what happens to him. You You get a good 4 or 5 years out of him, and then he's got to step away. And he's only getting older. And even though he's still in his, I consider him still in his prime, and he could go anywhere. And let's face it, Urban Meyer picks his own market. Anywhere he decides he wants to go, he could basically do, without a couple caveats. He's not just walking into Alabama and usurping Saban or anything like that. Outside of Saban, he could go anywhere and write his own check. The money's there. I don't care about COVID, but does he really want to go into a season where you don't know what's going to happen? It's completely all up in the air, added stress, all that stuff. I'm right with Kev. No, I think that he's a smart enough man to say this isn't the year. Maybe 2022, but I really need you to stop hating so much. Take the hate out of your heart.
Take it out your heart.
Put it on your, and I mean towards myself, because I matter more because I'm a listener. So just truthfully, take it out. Stop it. You dangled the fruit in front of me. I bit it just like my boxer would. I went straight for it, but I'll take it because I haven't been able to get a hold of you for 2 days. But, I did vote. I'm in the parking lot of my church where I vote, so I did do that. So everybody get out and do that. But let's just hope he doesn't. Let's really hope he doesn't, because you know what kind of show that is, and it starts with SH and it ends with what. So it'll be a great time for 3 or 4 years, and then he's going to step away. Don't do that to yourself, Urban. And don't let this guy on the radio talk you into it either. He's not that big, even though he is here.
Yeah, Urban tries to block me out because he knows I'm such a convincing voice in his life. So
you are the voice in Dayton. You are the voice every man listens to on the way home. You both are. But you're not my spirit animal. You're kind of you're the devil's
the SH and the other thing, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you are. But you're the devil's advocate. You're the devil's advocate. You're my Skip Bayless. But like you said, good at what he does, and so are both of you. Anyway, I'll leave you at that.
All right, Jim, thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, and I do appreciate him being a listener. Yeah, that's all that matters. He is right. At the end of the day, he's a listener, and that's important. That's all that matters. I disagree with him from the standpoint of him going to Texas. It's not a bad thing. In fact, Urban Meyer is not just great. I mean, Urban Meyer is great for college football. Mm-hmm. Like, we talked about this in the past. If you think about the NFL, there's really not many matchups anymore that we get excited about as far as coach versus coach. Bill Belichick versus Mike Tomlin is still a little fun. If you had the Seahawks and the Patriots going head to head, obviously there with those two coaches going head to head, that's fun. There's not a lot of fun coaching matchups. But my one thing I remember,
Harbaugh and Tomlin.
Yeah, those are fun. But I remember growing up, and the one thing about college football was it was the team matchups, yes, but it was about the coaches too. If you had Bowden going up against Paterno, if it was Tressel versus Paterno, if it was Saban, even Les Miles' name has really been watered down, but during that time that he was still coaching in the SEC,
eating grass,
Les Miles versus Nick Saban, that was good. That was fun stuff. Like the coaching matchups, the coaching rivalries themselves matter. Coaching is younger today.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah. I don't think we've built these guys up enough because it's a whole new wave of coaches.
Yep.
And that's happening in the NBA right now, and it's also happening in college football. Matter of fact, it's happening everywhere. It's no longer always recycle coach this, recycle coach that. It's new blood in the coaching realm. So I'm here for it. And we just got to let these coaches build their way up into these rivalries and everything like that.
So, look, as far as Urban Meyer goes, I do believe he will coach again. And even if it's 2 years from now, to your point, to that last caller's point in Jim, his health is always going to be a concern. But let's be clear. His health was a concern when he left Florida and took the job at Ohio State. And he took over a program that had sanctions.
He was going to Ohio State.
Huh? What?
He was coming to Ohio State.
But keep in mind, he was going to the Ohio State University, and there was a lot of uncertainty there as well. How severe were the sanctions going to be? How long? How much would that set them back? He didn't know if he was going to be able to unbury Ohio State after the mess that was left there after the tattoo gate and everything. And who was the head coach of that team that couldn't get it together? Oh, Fickle. That's right. Yeah, Fickle. Sorry. But anyways, no. In all seriousness, there was a lot of question marks there, and he did it. He does it everywhere he goes. He'll do it at Texas. And my point is even if he can't, Texas is desperate. Those boosters are desperate. I've learned a lot about working with colleges doing this job, just watching how the boosters control everything. I mean, we like to give athletic directors a lot of credit for a lot of the hard work that they do, and they do. And we have 2 D1 colleges here in town, 2 really good athletic directors. But let's be clear, when boosters say dance, they dance. All right. When boosters tell a certain athletic director in town, hey, we don't want you to play a certain team in town, that athletic director does not play a certain team in town. Like the boosters, they are in control of everything, Kev. So when the boosters say, we want Urban Meyer, guess what? Texas is going to go at least effort to get Urban Meyer. On the flip side, boosters at USC, we don't want Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they get the president from Cincinnati. They know he's close with Urban. You know, when those things started coming out, like every report you read about the rumors behind the scenes, everything, they do not want Urban Meyer. As badly as some teams are desperate to win and get a guy in there to turn it around, there's other teams like USC who stick to their guns and say, no. All I know is if USC's out, name another program that makes sense for Urban right now.
Notre Dame. Like that's the one that everybody always mentions, like that he's mentioned. You know, he's mentioned Notre Dame, but you know, Notre Dame currently they're number 4. They have a chance against Clemson this week. We don't know what the whole Brian Kelly situation is. And that's the only one that I can really see. I can see Texas. I can see Notre Dame. I really don't see anybody else that
there's no other I'm with
quote
you.
Unquote worthy that he would deem himself
Florida
worthy
State
enough to go to. Nah, they would never hire Urban Meyer.
They wouldn't hire. Why do you say that?
The beef is real. Like you think the beef is real between Florida and Florida State. Like that just is what it is.
The beef is real between Ohio State and Michigan. But if you know, I have a hard time believing that if Urban was interested in Michigan, that Michigan wouldn't hire Urban Meyer.
They would. Florida State wouldn't hire him.
And by the way, I'm not. You know, I mean, that's weird to me that they wouldn't.
And they don't have enough money. Florida State doesn't have.
If that's the reason, I'll give you that.
And they don't have enough money. Florida State is not one of those programs like Ohio State and Michigan, who has money coming out the wazoo. They're for the most part, they're still new money. Like they didn't start winning football games at a big clip until the 80s. You know,
that's true. They can't even afford to pay their college players. That's why you had Jameis Winston stealing crab legs. Man, he was hungry.
Exactly. They lost their head coach to Texas A&M, for goodness sakes. Like Texas A&M, who hasn't been relevant since World War II. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't afford to keep him, you're not going to be able to afford to get a better coach than him. You know what I'm saying?
Boosters, though. Boosters talk.
They don't have it. They don't have the money.
It takes one.
They don't have it.
It takes one, though. It takes one booster to step up. I know what you're saying. They may not have it now, but it takes one booster to step up.
We can name on our hand of 10 to 20 people that are boosters at Ohio State with long money. Like, not just like, oh, man, he's a booster. He lives here in Kettering. There's billionaires that are Ohio State boosters. There's not billionaires that are Florida State boosters. There's those millionaires.
We don't know that there's not billionaires. And besides, and let's be clear, no, you don't know.
Yes.
You know every single booster. Name me 10 boosters. Name me Spandex. Like a nickname?
No. The inventor, the family of Spandex.
Oh crap! You actually have some answers.
Yes, that is Florida State.
Backfiring.
That is Florida State's number 1 booster.
Okay, see, there's being prepared for a show, and then there's Kev, who knows the damn boosters for Florida State. That's what I'm working with.
They don't have
That's
the long
good.
money.
I'm happy for you.
They don't have the long money like Texas and Ohio State. They just don't. And so they would never, one, they wouldn't hire him because of the beef. 2, they don't have the money to hire Urban Meyer.
Beef always disappears when the person you have beef with can come over and make you money. I'm not trying to try. I'm being serious. Like, I'm just saying, like, Rick Pitino, ring a bell at all? Of course, now he's fallen off.
Where's he at now?
He's fallen off a little bit, but how is he?
He's at Iona, right?
He doesn't know. He doesn't know anything. Every time you talk to Rick Pitino, I have no idea. I mean, it's like, hey, how are you? I don't know. Well, okay, easy. I was just asking how you're doing, sir. No need to freak out. All right. But again, we've been running these different Election Day sports polls all day, just trying to have a little fun with Election Day. Urban Meyer, will he be a coach in college football in 2021? I say he will. Kevin says no, but he does see a scenario where he could be coaching down the road. So 457-9464, we'll take your calls, jump in on the conversation, but you have to text us your vote. 937-210-9676. Let your vote be heard. Let your vote count. Vote, vote, vote. Vote yes or no by texting us your answer to 937-210-9676. Urban Meyer, will he be a head coach in college football in 2021? Vote, text yes or no to 937-210-9676. Right now I'm scrolling through these. I'm seeing a lot of no's. A lot of no's. I really did think there would be a little bit more yeses to Urban Meyer coaching. Again, I'm going to do the final count. I'm going to do a final count here. I'll have the final count for you when we come back. I think it's a long shot that he coaches. For me, college football needs Urban Meyer. It does. Like, I never finished a point earlier about that. Like, it was fun, those coaching matchups. Coaching's a little bit younger now. But the coaching matchup that we have yet to see that I would love to see, Ryan Day versus Lincoln Riley. And those two, imagine those two being in college football for decades to come. I mean, that would be like, when Joe Pa was around for so long and he was, with Bowden and those guys had to start out super young and as nobodies at one point, or the up and coming young guys. And then eventually they grew to be legends of the game. That could be Lincoln Riley and Ryan Day when it's all said and done. Nick Saban's at that point now. You have a guy like Dabo who's years behind Saban, but my goodness, he's that new money too. If you want to talk about the way he's made a splash in the scene. So text your vote to 937-210-9676. Will Urban Meyer be a head coach in college football in 2021? Vote yes or no by texting the number. Again, we will be back with the final tally when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear and sunny with a high near 60. Tonight's also going to be clear with a low around 41. And tomorrow is going to be clear and sunny with a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Try Vicks VapoCool Drops in Honey Lemon Chill for a fast-acting relief of honey lemon. Not to mention a soothing chill. So remember, Vicks VapoCool Drops are honey lemon and honey lemon. Yeah, Honey Lemon Chill. Get fast-acting relief with Vicks VapoCool Drops in Honey Lemon Chill. Use as directed.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would you do that? The train still doesn't stop. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Napa know-how. At Napa, you can get 20% off 3 or more items with the $4.99 Napa Tool Bag. Yep, 20% off power tools, 20% off wipers, 20% off oil, and more. It's a whole bag of tricks. Well, actually, it's one trick over and over again, but it's a good one, saving you 20% on 3 or more items. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 11/30/20.
I have to do laundry when I get home. I have to lug all my clothes over to the washing machine. Then I get to put them in the dryer and accidentally shrink my cashmere sweater again.
Motorcycles make everything exciting. And when Geico makes it easy to switch and save on motorcycle insurance, it's even more exciting.
I'm gonna fold all my socks into little balls. Yeah!
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
At Meadowbrook at Clayton, our state-of-the-art golf simulators are ready for play. Book your tee times now and get our special rate of $15 per half hour for up to 4 people per simulator. Here's your chance to play some of the great golf courses around the world, including Kiawah Island, Harbor Town, and Spain's Valderrama. Weekday and weekend hours are available, and safe prepackaged snacks and drinks are only steps away. Go online to meadowbrookatclayton.com for details. Everyone is welcome, so call and reserve your times now.
Do you have an old sports program, baseball, photo, ticket, or game-used equipment just collecting dust? Sports Investments wants to buy your sports memorabilia. They're also interested in old sports cards and also buying political, aviation, and entertainment items. Bring your collectibles to Sports Investments and get a fair value on the spot. If you decide to sell, they'll pay you immediately. Sports Investments is the largest buyer of memorabilia and cards in the area since 1993. Sports Investments also feature the best selection of autographed memorabilia, sports cards, and other collectible items for sale, including all your favorites like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, the Bengals, the Browns, the Big Red Machine, UC, XU, UK, NKU, UD, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State, just to name a few. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Walter family. Call them at 513-891-5000. Email Adam at sportsinvestments.com or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from WING.
John McManus is running hard to be our Montgomery County Treasurer. Montgomery County is already one of the highest tax counties in the state. It seems like every day we're being told to pay higher and higher taxes. Now, in the middle of a pandemic, we're told to get ready for another tax increase next year. When John McManus was vice president of the largest school board in Montgomery County, he fought against property tax increases. As our next county treasurer, he'll stand with us again. This November, vote John McManus for Montgomery County Treasurer.
I'm John McManus, and I approve this message.
Dayton's favorite, Casano's Pizza King, is open for delivery or carryout at any of our 33 locations. Call 294-KING and see for yourself where the proof is in the taste. That's 294-KING for delivery or carryout at a location near you. Pizza King.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
I worry about lots of things. My finances, my grandkids.
If you're 65 or older, you have enough things to worry about. Pneumococcal pneumonia shouldn't be one of them. Even healthy adults 65 and older are at increased risk for this potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. Help protect yourself with the Prevnar 13 pneumococcal 13-valent conjugate vaccine, diphtheria CRM 197 protein. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 13 does not protect against all strains of the disease. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with a weakened immune system may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-866-694-9300 or visit Prevnar13.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 13.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with Paper Mile Insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Whether it's betting on the big game, catching up on bills, or saving up for the holidays, we could all use a little extra cash this time of year. Hey, how does $1,000 sound? It's the ESPN Dayton hashtag We Want to Get Paid Cash Contest. Listen for the word that wins every hour, starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. Enter the word at wingam.com for your chance to win $1,000. It's the ESPN Dayton We Want to Get Paid Cash Contest. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on a Tuesday. Again, it's still tripping me out. I look out and I'm like, man, is it getting cloudy again? I just keep forgetting the time change from this past weekend. Now, every year, I usually like to, that extra hour that you get. I don't like to sleep that extra hour because I'm already so used to getting up early anyways. I don't work out as much as I should, but what I usually do to kind of get me back in that, kind of rhythm of things a little bit, that extra hour, I just set my alarm for the normal time that I normally would wake up before the time change. And then I have that whole extra hour of the day. So I use that hour to go work out. And then I still have the same amount of hours of my day, technically. Still getting the same amount of sleep.
How's that working out for you?
Oh, I'm up quite a few pounds. I had a doctor's appointment today. And the doctor always started, it's really embarrassing when your doctors, like most doctors appointments I've had, like, all right, keep working out, keep going to play basketball, do what you got. Now I must be so out of shape that when the doctor says, well, make sure you're going on walks at least. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm like so far out of shape that the doctor is recommending walks because he doesn't trust that my health can handle me trying to do anything else. Oofa.
All right, man. No, the New Year's resolution.
Nah, that doesn't work. That never works. I never do the New Year's resolution things because I fail at those too.
But you got the bike. What happened to the bike?
It's there.
Coat rack.
No, it's like just sitting in the living room. It just taunts me as I'm sitting there on my cheeseburger watching the game. There's the bike right there just staring at me. Oofa. I'm telling you right now. All right. So, by the way, we've wrapped up the Urban Meyer poll. So today, because of the election, we wanted to have a little fun today. We've done our, of course, Election Day sports polls all day throughout the show. Of course, let's go back and look at some of the polls that we had today. We started out the show with Burrow versus Baker. And, we can open some of these back up again. If you would like to get your votes, submitted, you can text us your vote at 937-210-9676. But we did Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow. Which quarterback will win a playoff game first? And the majority of the votes all went in favor of Joe Burrow getting a playoff victory first, although a lot of people texted in saying, hey, but the Baker Mayfield, he's set up more to get to the playoffs more. And believe it or not, Bengals fans, I voted for Joe Burrow. I voted that Joe Burrow will if I had to put money on which of these two guys will get a playoff victory first, I would have to put money on Joe Burrow, even though I think his team is not in a great situation. I don't trust his ownership, but I do believe that his style of play, that I would trust Joe Burrow to lead a team to a playoff victory more than I would Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's roster is set up to where they could win games potentially with the run. The defense isn't good, but if they could force turnovers, it would give them a shot. But if I had to rely on the arm of Baker Mayfield to win a playoff game, I would pick Joey B over Baker Mayfield as far as that goes. Without putting all the trolling aside, I would have to put my money on Joe Burrow as far as that's concerned. But Browns most likely going to make the playoffs this year, but we've seen what happens when they run into teams like the Ravens and Steelers, and that's pretty much who they would run into right off the bat as far as that's concerned. So that was the first poll. The second poll that we did, of course, was about Trevor Bauer and your Cincinnati Reds. Will Trevor Bauer be a Red in 2021? 88% of the votes said no, he will not be a Red. 88 votes, said no, he will not be with the Cincinnati Reds. 34 votes came in saying that he would. I was one of them that believes that he will be a Cincinnati Red in 2021. I believe that the Reds, right now the Reds have already offered him the qualifying offer. They've already extended the qualifying offer. Of course, he might most likely reject that. However, when you look at the market and you look at the uncertainty in the free agent market, Trevor Bauer is not guaranteed to make anything. People keep looking at the value of these athletes that are hitting the free agent market, and you're assuming that because of their value that they're going to get that. They're not. So there's going to be a lot of players who are going to have to swallow their pride and accept way less money if they want to play baseball in 2021. Trevor Bauer could be one of those. We act like the Yankees and the Astros and others are just going to fork over money. That's not going to be the case. Now, there will be a team that's going to gamble and say, you know what, if no one else is spending money, this may be the one shot. Like a team like the Reds, they're interesting to me because they're a team that maybe if it comes down to them having to outbid other teams in the free agent market, they're never going to win those bids. However, in this situation, they're also not always the sexiest landing spot for free agents. But if not a lot of teams are offering guys money, the Reds could probably come in lower than what they normally would offer some of these guys and potentially get a couple bites. To sit there and act like, the Reds, they won't be in financial position to do it. Well, no one is. But you got to spend money to make money. And right now, the Reds, the free agent market is going to be deeper than we thought it was going to be originally, because a lot of teams that normally would re-up on a lot of these options, they're declining the option and just outright releasing these guys because they would rather spend $1 million to $2 million on the buyout versus keeping them to spend $7, $8 to $15 million per year for some of these guys. And that's where the Reds are going to come into play and potentially either be one of the teams that just releases guys to save money, or they're going to go out, see, smell, there's going to be chum in the water, and they're going to go out and get it and make something happen. So it's going to be interesting what approach the Reds take, because it's easy to label them as a team that's going to be cheap and not spend money. but they're also a team that has definitely shown interest in trying to be aggressive and going out to make money and improve this roster. Philip Reed on Facebook, as soon as there it is. He says, so Trevor Bauer will be the head coach of the University of Texas, and Urban will be signing with the Reds next year. Did I say the names backwards? Did I say it backwards? If I said it backwards, Philip, sorry. I've been repeating a lot of the same names today. So Trevor Bauer will be the head coach of the University of Texas, and Urban will be signing with the Reds next year, probably. That would be so 2020 as far as that's concerned. If I said the names wrong, I apologize. I probably did. I just didn't catch it as far as that goes. And then the recent poll we just did, head to the polls, vote. We've closed this vote. Regardless, we have one more poll we're going to get to. Urban Meyer will be a head coach in college football in 2021. And it led to a good conversation between Kevin and I, realizing that there's really not a lot of options for Urban Meyer to coach in 2021. Now, I say that because there are a lot of teams that would love Urban Meyer, but there's not a lot of situations that fit what Urban Meyer is and who he is and what he would like to accomplish. There is one team we forgot about. Chris Schulp on Facebook, Kev, says, what about Urban Meyer going to the Miami Hurricanes? That's not a bad destination either. That's a program that is rich, in history as well. That's a program that has been, his ego for him to go and bring that program back and to win a national championship in the ACC. So that still checks off that priority list or whatever of being able to win a title in the third different conference. I think he could do that. Plus he can recruit in Florida. He's done pretty good there. And you talked about Florida State and the beef there. Well, that's another way to stick it to them, too. And he can go after the guys that go to Florida. I think Urban could succeed at Miami. Plus, he's lived there. His family loves it there. Florida's not a bad spot either. In fact, I could argue, and Schulp, thank you for that one, that probably makes more sense than Texas. If Miami and Texas, let me ask you this. If Miami and Texas, both ADs are reaching out to Urban Meyer, which team program do you think Urban feels more comfortable going to? I say Miami. Oh, Jesus. Now we're opposite again.
Texas.
Why Texas?
By a landslide. Texas by a landslide. I think
by a landslide.
I think you can win a lot faster at Texas. I think the culture that Urban Meyer brings in and that winning attitude is something that just Texas has been missing. Like they're right there in the beloved recruiting rankings and everything like that. And I know currently they're like losing guys left and right. But if Urban Meyer signs his name on the dotted line, a lot of those guys come back. And I just believe Texas would be a better fit for Herb. I don't see Herb as the U type of guy. I just don't. I think Herb,
he's a Florida guy, though.
Florida and the U are two different places.
Well, Ohio State and Columbus and Florida are two different places. I'm saying
like the U culture. The U culture is braggadocious, in your face. The things that Urban Meyer, outside of the bad stuff, pretty buttoned up, pretty business-like type of situation.
But Texas, we're back, baby. We're back. That doesn't sound like very buttoned up to me. That sounds like,
Sam Ellen won't be there. That's for sure. He's like on his 6-year eligibility.
I was going to say he's on the Kenner College plan, 8 years and not leaving with, being a doctor. I tell you that. Man, I'm okay. For those who help us out here, 457-9464. Go to the Justin Kinner Show page on Facebook. Just search the Justin Kinner Show. I see what you're saying, but man, I don't think it matters about the culture. I mean, when you talk about the cultures of the cultures of both programs are what they are now because of where they're at now. Urban can establish a culture anywhere. I mean, Urban, Florida, the way Ohio State looked was how Florida looked. It is what I think the culture follows Urban more than anything.
They were two. There was the Zook. They were in the middle of the Zook years, and they just weren't winning at a high clip. They were definitely there recruiting wise, but I don't necessarily believe that Miami is committed to winning national championships. Just the things that they do inside their athletic office. I mean, if you go to the WAC in Columbus, you go to the facility at Clemson, everything like that, it's decked out from head to toe. When you have an indoor facility at Miami that's only 80 yards, that's a problem. That's embarrassing. Like, you have an 80-yard field? Huh? Like Urban Meyer shows up and like, oh, let's go to the indoor practice facility and it's 80 yards. Like
that's all the more reason Urban. That's a challenge. Urban wins there. That's even more of an accomplishment. I think Urban would be chomping at the bit to go to Miami over Texas, and I've been, saying I think he ends up at Texas. But Schultz brought up Miami. I didn't even think about that, but that's not a bad one either. And keep in mind, like a lot of the kids that he was, and how about this too? Think about this: if Urban ever did step back into college football, I would just be obsessed with the recruiting stories of like when Ohio State and Urban Meyer crossed paths on the recruiting trail. Ryan Day crossing paths with Urban Meyer on the recruiting trail. Like Saban and Dabo and a lot of their staffs, they're used to that. Here, it would be very interesting to see because Urban in Ohio State has gotten the best of all of his protege, all of his guys underneath him before. I mean, Tom Herman got really cocky. He got really arrogant, and it has bit him in the behind because many people thought Tom Herman would be a good replacement for Urban Meyer when that time came. Of course, Tom Herman wasn't going to stick around much longer because no one thought that Urban's time was coming to an end until, the chaos. Zach Smith, that just snowballed the beginning of the end as far as that goes. But you have Ryan Day and Zach Smith, or you have Ryan Day and Tom Herman crossing paths on the recruiting trail, and Ryan Day's winning, and Ohio State's winning. But if Urban Meyer, they're winning over Texas, but would Ryan Day win over Urban Meyer? If Urban Meyer's at Miami, would Ryan Day and Ohio State, would they win the living room battles over Miami and Urban Meyer or Texas and Urban Meyer if that happened? That I would be obsessed with. I would love to find out.
That would be that definitely would be big time.
Yeah.
I just don't think that Urban Meyer is in the world of let me go down to a quote unquote lesser program. Like he's in the legacy business. He's not into the rebuilding thing anymore. He did that already. Like he's above.
But you're not going to. But any place you go to, if a program's moving on from a coach, you are rebuilding. Texas isn't a for sure thing. Miami wouldn't be. In fact, Miami and Texas, I think, are equal. The way they recruit, the way they're ranked, they're always that fringe team. They always get overly ranked to start the season. They end up right back where they're supposed to be by the end. They're the same program in just two different conferences.
I really don't see it that way. I see Texas is far superior than Miami. I just think that Urban Meyer's in the legacy business. That's almost like saying, like, all right, shoot, LeBron, why don't you go to freaking Charlotte? Like that's how I feel about it.
Miami's won a national championship
21 years ago.
When's the last? I mean, and it's not like Texas has won one in recent history either. They're all within the same ballpark, all within the same 5-year window. So it's not. I mean, both programs are far. We're far from Coker. We're far from Mac Brown. I mean, we're how many coaches removed from both of those legendary coaches with those franchises. So I just think they're very similar. 457-9464. This is good. I see both sides of this, but I also think they're more equal than anything. Like 457-9464. Head to Facebook as well. If you are Urban Meyer, or if you what I'm curious fans' thoughts on what program's a better destination spot for an Urban Meyer, Miami or Texas? Which program makes more sense for him? Which program do you think he would choose? This wasn't a part of the poll, but I'm really curious. And Texas 2005 with Vince Young and those guys. That's when they beat Pat Leinart and those guys in the national. That was one of my all-time favorite national title games.
Football game.
As far as that goes,
and then they played in the national championship game.
But it was 2001. 2001's when Miami won.
2001,
because then they lost to Ohio State in 2002. So they're all within the same recruiting class of one another of winning a national championship. I just think they're more similar. They're always up there in the recruiting rankings. Every year is their year. Is this the year that the U is back? Is this the year that Texas is back? Every conference has one of those programs, by the way. The Big Ten has Michigan. You know what I mean? Like, and right now, USC is kind of turning into that. USC is kind of turning into that. And by the way, we're talking about Texas way back when. USC, that's when they were way back when. I mean, it's been a while for them too, as far as that's concerned. But all right, we'll step away for a few moments. 457-9464. If you're Urban Meyer, Texas or
I love how we're firing
Miami
dudes.
Huh?
I love how we're firing dudes.
Well, because if Urban Meyer is available, you take Urban Meyer, Tom Herman. I'm taking Tom Herman, or I'm taking Urban Meyer. Miami with what they're doing over there, it's great. It's cute. You feel good for a little bit at the beginning of the year, but then you just realize, oh crap, you are who we thought you were. By the time it's all said and done. David Shaw says Miami, Texas, Michigan, and USC are all the same. Yeah, I do I agree. All those programs have the potential to be right up there with the Bamas, Ohio States, and Clemsons of the world. But every year, it's the same thing. It's the same coaching conversations. It's the same schematic conversations. It's the same recruiting conversations. It's the same everything. God, it's the same thing for 15 years, almost 20 years. It's been the same for these guys, some longer than others. All right, when we come back, Obi Toppin, we do have one more of our Election Day sports polls coming back. In fact, hit the election poll music. We'll go ahead and set that one up now. We'll have two conversations to come out. Oh, no, the Bengals, yes, 2-5-1. That's the celebratory Bengals are 2-5-1.
All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and vote. Don't worry, we're sticking to sports. Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
All right, so because it's election day, we've been doing these election day sports-themed polls all day. We've been having fun with that. Text your vote to 210-9676. Obi Toppin, this is our final election day poll of the day. Head to the polls. Text us your vote. 937-210-9676. Which team will select Obi Toppin in this month's NBA draft? Here's your NBA draft order. The Timberwolves have the number 1 overall pick. The Golden State Warriors, number 2. The Hornets have the number 3 pick. The Bulls at number 4 and the Cavs at number 5. Where will the Dayton Flyers star player and Obi Toppin end up? Where will he end up? Who will draft him? Which team will select Obi Toppin in the upcoming NBA draft? Text us your vote, 937-210-9676. We will wrap up our final Election Day sports poll of the day when we come back. Don't go anywhere. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
I'm Charla. I'm a Park National banker, and I'm a new grandma. At Park National Bank, we believe that we're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. Now, bringing our family of community banks together under a single brand name means you get those core values you always counted on from us, and more service, more access, and more options. We're all together now at Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Other banks charge fees on savings and checking accounts. Doesn't sound good, does it? Capital One reimagined banking. So it sounds more like this. With Capital One, you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. Get started now at a Capital One location or online. Sound good to you? This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Approval required. Offered by Capital One and a member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
We're back in Miamisburg, Ohio at Pipestone Golf Club. It's a beautiful day, and we're playing an incredibly well-maintained and beautiful golf course. You should be out here with us, I'm telling you. We're finishing up our round today on hole number 18. It's a long par 5 that requires a right-to-left tee shot. Well, I have that shot, but I usually call it a hook. I'm off the tee, and sure enough, the ball starts to hook. It stops just short of the creek that runs the entire left side of the hole. 2 shots later, I'm in front of the green. It slopes hard to the left, and your ball will run into the creek if you're not careful. My half wedge ends up more like a full wedge, and I'm 20 feet from the hole. Then it happens. I sink my 20-foot putt for a par. What a way to finish a great round of golf at a great golf course. You should get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Pipestone. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Pipestone and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Mike Foley is proud to serve as our Montgomery County Clerk of Courts, and he's asking for our vote again this November. Mike is a father, a U.S. veteran, and has been a small business owner for over 20 years. He's not a career politician, but a leader that gets things done. Mike Foley has saved taxpayers over $3 million in less than 2 years in office by running the clerk's office more efficiently. He truly brings the courthouse to the community. For all the right reasons, let's re-elect Mike Foley, Montgomery County Clerk of Courts.
This is Mike Foley, and I approve this message.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation, now hiring Class A CDL drivers for new Home Daily dedicated lanes. That's right, Home Daily, earn up to $1,620 per week. A $2,000 sign-on bonus, medical, dental, vision, company-paid life insurance, outstanding new equipment, and no-touch freight. Call Cody, 937-277-7271, or apply at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Now at Menards, get 11% off everything. Over 50 in-stock Kidde home safety products are 11% off. Get a smoke alarm with a 10-year sealed-in battery. It's only $15.12 after 11% rebate. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through November 7th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Do you have standing water, a wet basement, or water in your heat ducts? Hi, this is Jeff Heil from Buckeye Landscaping and Ohio Irrigation and Drainage. At Ohio Irrigation, we have a solution to end your drainage problems. We provide a free custom design and estimate to meet the needs of your home and keep you worry-free when it rains. Call Buckeye Landscaping, Ohio Irrigation, 432-9911, or visit our website, buckeyeandohio.com. That's 432-9911. Stop worrying. Call for a free estimate today.
What's in store this holiday at your local Staples?
Gifts and packages shipped with care.
So you can relax knowing they'll soon be there.
Now at Staples, save 25% on UPS expedited shipping services. Plus, save up to 30% on select shipping supplies.
Shop in store or get same-day delivery through Instacart.
Pack it and ship it for less at Staples.
Ends 1/2/21 while supplies last. In-store only. See store for details. Instacart not available on shipping services. Fees, taxes, additional terms, and/or tips may apply. Delivery subject to availability.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Stock up on favorites like Orocacia during Fresh Time's buy 2, get 1 free body care sale. Now through November 3rd, you can trust Fresh Time to bring you real natural solutions at real affordable prices.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
So you want to talk about outliers? Those guys are out. You're lucky that this thing's separating us. That's all I got to say. For facts, though. I got your facts right here.
Listen, stream, and now watch. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook to follow along. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio. All right, sports fans, it's time to get out and vote. Don't worry, we're sticking to sports. Text your sports poll vote to 937-210-9676.
I don't know. I think we've done a pretty good job of sticking to sports today, considering it's election day, and we could be telling you that you need to vote for this guy or this guy or this guy or this gal. I mean, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But no, I think we did a pretty good job of sticking to sports today. It's the election show edition, the election day edition of the Justin Kinner Show. We try to have a little fun. A lot of election day sports polls that we ran all day. Urban Meyer, of course. You talked about him. We talked about Trevor Bauer. Will he be with the Reds again? Baker Mayfield versus Joe Burrow. Which of those two quarterbacks will win a playoff game first? And then we're wrapping it up on the show today with which team do you believe will be the team to draft Obi Toppin, the Dayton Flyer great? Of course, head to the polls, vote, text your vote to 937-210-9676. We haven't ran this poll long. This is our latest one. This one, we're giving the least time of them all. Should have given this one a little bit longer. We're up to 57. 57, and of those, we're at 25. 25 of the votes believe that the Golden State Warriors, most of all the votes, believe the Golden State Warriors will take him at number 2. Now, I don't know how people voted on this in regards to what they want to have happen or what they think will happen. I think that's what a lot of people want to happen.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's where I think he will thrive the best, because I don't think Obi Toppin is going to go be a number one somewhere. That's not a shot at Obi. For one, that's not fair to put on any rookie. Besides, if you go send a rookie to any team to be the number one, they're not making the playoffs. They're not winning a lot of games to begin with, and I don't know how much better that makes them. That's why I don't want the Cavs. The Bulls are intriguing mainly because of Billy Donovan, but if Billy Donovan wasn't there, I wouldn't be about the Bulls. The Hornets, no. The MJ thing would be cool as far as that, but that's where it stops. I mean, after that, I mean, the Hornets have been irrelevant since the Baron Davis days. I mean, it's, I'm going to say no there. The T-Wolves intrigue me a little bit, but I'm going to have the Golden State Warriors. That's where I want him to end up. But, man, I think the Bulls are going to be who ultimately drafts him. I don't want him with the Bulls outside of the Billy Donovan thing there. I definitely don't want him in Cleveland. I'm gonna say the Bulls. If I had to vote, I'm voting the Bulls. But man, Golden State over 25 plus votes. Hold on, 20. We get 4 more for the So 29 total votes have come in for just the Warriors alone. We're at 65 total votes now, and 29 of them have been for the Golden State Warriors. They believe Obi Toppin is ending up with the Golden State Warriors.
How many polls have we done today?
4.
Guess what?
What?
We finally agree.
We finally agree? How about
Bulls?
How about this?
Bulls.
You finally got one right, huh? Finally got one right. Hey, let's close it out. Who do we got? Who is this?
They left.
They left. That's fine. We were out of time anyways. It's probably best that they left. Guys, there's a lot of fun. Look, and another one coming in Cleveland as far as that's concerned. We'll touch more on that tomorrow. By the way, the debut of Talking Out Loud, the new Dayton Flyers Hour, Dayton Flyers basketball show. Sully does a fantastic job. We took his podcast and brought it to Radio Live. He does an absolute great job. Part 2 of his interview with Brooks Hall will be coming up this Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Talking Out Loud every Thursday at 6 o'clock. You could tune in for Dayton Flyers Talk with Sully. So Talking Out Loud with Sully again. It debuted last week, and we're excited to have it back again coming up this Thursday night. Part 2 of the interview series with Brooks Hall. It goes on to talk about the recruiting scandal, and and Brooks Hall does a great job of walking all the listeners through kind of what happened there. And it's very intriguing. I gave Sully a lot of credit for being willing to ask those questions, and he did a good job. And Brooks Hall did an awesome job of being very candid and very honest and very open about what went on, because everyone likes to fill in the blanks of what they think happened. Well, if you want to know what happened with the Dayton Flyers and and getting in trouble for during the Brooks Hall era, guess what? They go into detail. Sully and Brooks Hall go into detail on that coming up this Thursday. But again, I shout out to Sully for having the guts to go there with them. But Brooks Hall, he could have easily said, "Nah, man, I don't want to go." He was very open and honest. I respect the hell out of him for that too. But good for him. I mean, Mr. Basketball. I mean, all that. I mean, yeah, he goes. Last week I learned he had so many big programs after him, and he picked Dayton over all of those. Like, that's cool. Like, I mean, that, especially a hometown kid too, doing that. It's one thing if like Obi picks Dayton over a lot of those schools, but when you're a homegrown kid like that, I think that makes it even that much more special. So
special to have your friends and family be able to see you every single night, not only just watching on TV, but actually be able to come to the games.
So we'll get more into some of these polls tomorrow. But keep in mind tonight, who knows? We're not going to know who wins the election tonight. But I hope that everyone handles the election the way you do your sports teams. That you congratulate if your team loses, you congratulate the winner. Everyone shakes hands, you say nice things about one another, and we all be adults. I know that's not what's going to happen, but I'm hoping for the best as far as that's concerned. So there you go.
Look at you, sounding like an adult.
I'm no, my goodness, no. I was being a smartass that whole time. We all know damn well no one's going to be. Oh, congratulations! It's a hard,
you.
Oh, we gone. Have a great night, everybody. Until tomorrow, it's been the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. Go Browns! 2-5-1. What?